Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 23. Karen Reed is almost over. I think we will still make it to maybe not 30, 31 days. Maybe we'll probably get to about 27, 28, somewhere up in there. Someone said this trial was going to be shorter. It's not that much shorter. Shorter to me would have been 14 to 21 days. We've passed that threshold. So, yeah. Good morning. Y'all know we still got someone pretty text me this morning and said Welch's grape juice. He is still on the stand. Good morning, Keisha. Hey, Kaylin. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning. Hey, Tiffany. How are you? Good morning, Forrest. Forrest said, I need a crown. Good morning, Brianna. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Rita. Hey, Jasmine. Good morning, Haley. Hey, India. Hey, Vitra. Good morning, Jasmine Brown. Oh, you on here twice. There we go. Good morning, DJ Mommy. Hey, Brianna. Hey, Alicia C. Good morning, Emmy. Hey, Niara. Good morning, Tidra. Hey, Nicola. Hey, Phoenix. Hey, Maris. Hey, Gigi. Good morning, Miss Davis and Fatima. Good morning, Sugar. Hey, T. Hey, Gwen. Y'all, I'm so sorry this morning. I've got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm like, let me make it for 9 this morning so that I could take care of something early. So sorry for being late. Good morning, Sundrop. Hey, Shay. Good morning, Shonda. Good morning, Jabria. Hey, Georgette. Hey, Destiny. Hey, Chatty. How are you all? Hey, Angela. Hey, EBB. Good morning, Megan and Tati. Thank you so much, Lexi. Good morning. Please like the live on your way in, guys. I hope Dr. Wilcher, in all seriousness, I hope he's done today. I really do. Hey, OLM. Good morning, Crystal Jackson. I hate Jazz with the yellow heart. I hope he is done today, y'all. I do not care for him. I'm sick of him. Please get off the stand. Hey, Shani. Good morning, Brittany. Hey, Sleepy. Good morning, me and Kiera. Hey, Ramel. Hey, Heather. Hey, Felicia. Good morning, Brashana. Good morning, Latoya. Hey, Frenchie. Hey, Candy. Hey, Miss Davis. Good morning, Brianna Davis. How are you? Hey, Lo. Good morning. Lo sent me on Instagram this video I'd seen on TikTok because someone else sent it to me. Child, did y'all see the man dressed in blue? It was like a commercial for Aperture. Did y'all see that? Oh, y'all, that Aperture is taking a serious hit, okay, to their image because of this trial. We had Shannon up there lying, confused, bits, bites, didn't know. And then we've got Welcher up here just being an asshole, just lying. They're taking a serious hit. Oh, and someone on X had a video of Welcher doing an actual force test. It is very telling that he can do that. He could have done it and he chose not to do it. Very, very telling. Why would you opt for a paint test when you have the tools to do a force test? That's very telling to me. Hey, Rain. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Amy. How are you this morning? Good morning, Felicia. Good morning, Nikki. Hey, Tracy. Good morning, Tasha. Good morning, No Job Mail. Tasha's too early. I just got on the live. After y'all clowned on that live last night, you get on here this morning. You want to bring it over here? Good morning, Taz. How are you? Hey, Jalen. Hey, Robin. Good morning, Jaleesa. Jaleesa Ash. Look at y'all right up under each other. Good morning. Good morning, Jasmine. Hey, T So Dope. Good morning, Hannah.
You are unmuted.
Hey, Tanika. Hey, Nicole. Good morning, Tia Goldie. Good morning, Maris. Hey, Kira. Good morning, Merch. Hey, Sunshine. Good morning, everybody. Let's have a great day. Like the live. Like the live, y'all.
All right. Good morning, Council. Good morning, Ms. Reed. And all right, Mr. Lessie, I will hear you on your argument on the voir dire.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just loading up my computer.
Hey, Eric.
Your Honor, I am going to address the Trooper Paul aspect, and then I'm going to address the Dr. Scorti Bello aspect of Dr. Welcher. With regard to Trooper Paul, I would like to draw the court's attention to the following documents for the straightforward proposition that Dr. Welcher has not only reviewed, he has not only considered, that he has adopted. I went back and looked at the documents, and the basis for this is as follows. Slides 22 and 23 do not just depict Trooper Joseph Paul himself. They show Trooper Paul conducting the CARS analysis on February 1st of 2022. Importantly, these slides highlight the mileage odometer of 12,665, and I respectfully request the court to anchor into that odometer reading, because I'm going to show the path that that odometer reading takes through all of the documents, but I want to emphasize the start, the genesis of the odometer reading of 12,665 miles is with Trooper Paul as he conducted the CARS analysis on February 1st. Now, here's where Dr. Welcher comes in. Dr. Welcher then uses this key data point, odometer 12,665, as the basis, the starting point for his determination of the locations and times for the events of January 29 of 2022. Dr. Welcher uses his scenario analysis of Ms. Reed's travels, and that's detailed on slides 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28 to calculate and then deduct 36 miles from the odometer according to Trooper Paul on February 1st of 2022 to arrive at an odometer reading of 12,629, which obviously is different from the start, the anchor I talked about of 12,665. So the assumed odometer of 12,629, again, is based on Trooper Paul's CARS analysis in slides 22 and 23. Are then used as a tether, a connection to the events recorded by the VCH and the Lexus on the following slides: 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, and 36. I elucidate this and I explicate the slide numbers to show how many there are in Dr. Welcher's report that are rooted in the anchor point and then the change in the deduction of the odometer. So the events memorialized by Trooper Paul on February 1st, including the odometer reading, provide the foundation for Dr. Welcher's entire analysis of the VCH events. The entire analysis of Dr. Welcher's VCH events. That is the adoption aspect of what I started with. Two more points.
Okay.
In addition, Dr. Welcher testified on his voir dire that the image on the left of slide 36 from his January 30th, 2025 presentation came from a file marked CARSJ.Paul. Now, he did contend that it wasn't the exact same image, but I want to go to this. In fact, the image on slide 36 is from the drone used by Trooper Paul, and the citation for that is page 4, item 11 of the CARS report. That's where the drones are from. Dr. Welcher didn't do any drone activity. He took the drone that he had in his report that was just a little bit different than the one I was showing him. It comes from page 4, item 11 of the CARS report. And I quote, "The crash scene was documented during the on-scene investigation by utilizing Alicia's GNSS GPS mapping system and a DJI Mavic 2 UAS. This data was input to a computer-aided diagram program, which is IMS 360. Here's the key: to produce a scale diagram of this collision. So the DJI Mavic is the CARS team drone. This image of Dr. Welcher's slide 36 is clearly and indisputably from the drone. And the only drone extant is the drone of Trooper Paul and the CARS team. Last point with regard to the Trooper Paul basis in adoption of Dr. Welcher. Mr. Brennan asked Dr. Welcher on voir dire if the image from slide 36 actually came from the CERT team, which is simply not true. The CERT team, actually Lieutenant Tully with the CERT team, took about a dozen photos of the taillight in the snow in the dark around 6 p.m. on January 29, 2022. Lieutenant O'Hara said that the CERT team never traveled back to the scene again. So there were very obviously no photos or images taken by the CERT team in the daylight from the drone. And I again refer to slides 22 and slides 23, where Dr. Welcher said it was more likely than not that it was Trooper Paul in those slides, but the point, whether it's Trooper Paul or not, is completely overwhelmed by what I just argued and presented as specific factual basis for a review, a consideration, and an adoption of the work of Trooper Paul. Unless your Honor has any questions, I would now move on to Dr. Scorti-Bello. Thank you.
Baby, that man said he is locked and loaded. I love a prepared king. Good morning, Bia.
Dr. Scorti-Bello will be much shorter.
Ooh.
Mr. Woke, do we have the slide of the Dr. Scorti-Bello it's at the end of the slide presentation with her name on it? Oh. If you just give the slide number, please. So it is slide 131. I almost know it verbatim, Your Honor, so I will continue. If Ms. Gilman has slide or someone could turn it on. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. So with regard to slide 31.
I love SB.
At the very top, and this again is a slide presentation of Dr. Welcher. So up at the very top, and so Dr. Welcher admitted that he not only reviewed the autopsy report, he admitted that he not only considered the autopsy report, he admitted that he adopted it, and I'm going to put adopt in quotes, to the extent that he used it in his slide presentation. Right. And he actually, to show the depth of those three verbs, he's got in orange highlight under final diagnosis, multiple skull fractures, base of skull, and cavallarium. He testified, obviously, about the rear wounds of Mr. O'Keefe. He testified about how he believed those wounds came about.
How would he know it?
And he
report? Come on now.
Cited as corroboration the highlight of multiple skull fractures, base of skull and cavallarium. It couldn't be any more obvious, his rooting in this document and reliance upon it. Why else would he have it in his slide presentation? And he's got the name of Dr. Scordi-Bello. And frankly, Your Honor, he didn't fight that whatsoever in the questioning of him. Then you go to underneath cause of death, blood impact, injuries of head, and hypothermia. He essentially repeated that on his testimony. And then if we could, Mr. Wool, just go to the right. And so you've got highlighted head, skull fracture radiating from the right occipital skull and into the right parietal bone, right and left occipital foci, and bilateral anterior foci and orbital plates. Again, the highlighted means something. He's adopting it. And lastly, the depiction of the skull here, I believe that's Dr. Welcher's handwriting. I believe that's his green, the LR, because I've never seen this green highlighting before. And it could also be Dr. Scordi-Bello's. That's another possibility. I'm not sure. But let's assume sort of the most conservative part that it's Dr. Scordi-Bello's. The key part is he's got it in there and he is referencing it. So, Your Honor, the last point really for both of them, and I wanted to save this point because it applies to both. With regard to experts, the law is clear. So I think the easiest part to show what our position here is the adoption. But in it, it's clearly shown. Adoption doesn't mean you have to agree with it. You just have to put your expert hands around it, wrestle with it, deal with it. And there is no rule of law that I'm aware of that says you can't question an expert witness unless it's something that the expert witness agrees with. If the expert witness has reviewed it and considered it, and especially if they've rejected it. The easiest is obviously reviewed, considered, and adopted. But it's certainly permissible and important to a defendant's constitutional right, Sixth Amendment to cross-examination, if an expert says or even infers, I reject this. I reject what Trooper Paul did, or I reject what Dr. Scordi-Bello did. That is decision-making of an expert that the attorney has a right to be able to test. Why did you reject it? What was your thought process in rejecting it? And that applies to both Trooper Paul and Dr. Scordi-Bello, because as I understand it, this witness, Dr. Welcher, is not, he says, I'm not relying upon Dr. or Trooper Paul, which is completely false based upon what I just showed. But even if he just rejects it, in addition to what he has done, we have the right to test and get answers as to why he did it. And the same with Dr. Scordi-Bello. Once he goes to this level, Your Honor, I believe it's a straightforward right, especially of a defendant in a criminal trial, and especially of the stakes and the charges this high, that we get to test it. What I think, lastly, my point here, Your Honor, the Commonwealth is doing is this. The Commonwealth knows Trooper Paul and Dr. Scordi-Bello are problematic for their theory and their narrative. Trooper Paul has got, if you work backwards from his key cycles, you end up with 1162-2, their key cycle. That ends up being not in front of 34 Fairview, but it ends up when the Lexus is in the possession of the state. That is the result of that. And that was something that was addressed square head on in the first proceeding. We're not coming up with some fanciful ghost in the second trial. This was gone through extensively in the first proceeding. And I understand this is a new trial, but it goes to show it's not something coming out of the blue, etc. And with regard to Dr. Scorti Bello, it was remarkable on the redirect that I've never seen a prosecution essentially go after the opinions and conclusion of their own medical examiner when they basically said, the medical examiner, I can't call this a homicide. The manner of death is undetermined. And the medical examiner says,
that's what it is.
I don't see any motor vehicle impact injuries.
Come on.
There couldn't be anything more apt, more probative than whether or not the injuries to the decedent are from a motor vehicle.
Come on, Alessi.
The Dr. Welcher himself is saying they are. That's the essence of his opinion. It's the essence of his test. We get to be able to respectfully, Your Honor, say, well, wait a minute. You said you looked at the autopsy. You said this. You highlight it. But you're going against the medical examiner on whether there's motor vehicle injuries.
He is.
The experts can't, Your Honor, cherry pick and choose from documents. They can't use it as a shield and a sword. They can't put up, for example, Dr. Scorti Bello's autopsy report, cherry pick things to benefit from them, and then and they did it on direct. And then all of a sudden on cross, when we want to go and test that, they say, oh, no, you can't do it. Your Honor, this whole argument is absurd. And it's antithetical to the Sixth Amendment. And even if, and this is my last point, even if this were merely a civil case, this would be routine cross-examination against the expert on the side. So in conclusion, Your Honor, I respectfully request that Ms. Reed and her team be allowed to exercise their constitutional right to cross-examination, the keystone of a defense in a criminal trial, cross-examination, and that they be able to take the shield that the prosecution is trying to put on us and be able to combat the sword that the prosecution has put forward with regard to trying to cherry pick from this information, and that we get to proceed, and we get to proceed undaunted from all the serial objections yesterday that interrupted my cross-examination. Thank you, Your Honor.
Baby, Alessi, could y'all put some hand claps in that chat for Alessi or fire? Let's put fire, because that was fire. That was fire.
What arises from the litany of complaints by the defense is that there is no constitutional right to usurp the rules of evidence. There is no case law, as much as they urge the court and yell out the word case law and constitutional right and Sixth Amendment right. There is no case law to support what they are trying to do. It is a simple endeavor that is clouded by all the rhetoric that they offer. And it is clear, and the court knows what they're trying to do. They are trying to pit the inadmissible opinion of a non-testifying witness against a testifying witness. They have asked Dr. Scorti Bello what her opinion is. And although it's not consistent with our reading of the case law, they were allowed to introduce that it was an undetermined cause of death or mechanism. That evidence is already in front of the jury, but they can't simply repeat it because it sounds good to them or they think it's helpful. Simply because a witness uses a document or looks at it or uses part of an autopsy does not let them regurgitate an opinion that's already in evidence to try to phantom cross-examine an expert. Dr. Welcher is clear. He did not rely on Dr. Scorti Bello's conclusion that this cause of death was undetermined. In fact, as an aside, he said, I wouldn't, because she's not qualified for that. And so this is a simple game. Let's pit one witness against the other and suggest that the Commonwealth's witnesses are inconsistent. They take it a step further. They want to relive what they think is their past success last year in this case without actually calling the witness. They want the jury to hear their perspective that a past witness had confusion in his analysis, but they don't want to call the witness. They want you to allow them to do that, not just shouting it out and have sustained objections, which has happened this entire case, but they actually want you to be able to allow them to ask Dr. Welch these questions, which he did not rely on. We had a voir dire. He was clear. He did not rely on the analysis of Trooper Paul. He did not rely on that determination or undetermined determination by Dr. Scortibello. It is that simple. They try to throw some fluff out and they throw around some documents. We have slide 22.
I'm struggling.
Simply because there's a suggestion that Trooper Paul might be the hand in the picture is not an anchor. It's not a tether. It's not an adoption. It's no such thing. In fact, if you look at that photograph, it was taken by Zach Clark. So by the rationale of the defense, they should now be able to ask Dr. Welcher any question they want about Zach Clark's opinions, efforts, what Zach Clark did. It is a photograph that he considered, not an opinion, not an analysis. It has nothing whatsoever to do with Dr. Welcher's analysis or opinions. In fact, the evidence is to the contrary. He came out, conducted an independent analysis, did all of the work himself, considered documents, and he was specific about what was part of his opinion and what was not. And this information was not part of his opinion. They turned to the Google map. Bit misleading. This was generated by Google. Two separate people used the same program, but when you look at the CARS report and you look at Dr. Welcher's PowerPoint, it's different. Dr. Welcher's has a map on the side, and when you look at the numbers themselves, the CAR report says minimum 36.1, maximum 38.8. Dr. Welcher's slide, 37.9, 38.1. So in no way did he adopt, anchor, tether, use as any basis. In fact, his is different and separate, as all of his analysis is. And so the portrayal of this necessity of information so they can sneak in inadmissible opinions with no witness is simply improper. There is no case law. There is no legal support for it. They cannot reach back into last year and manipulate a witness and ask him about something that he didn't rely on because it feels good or it sounds good for their case. Dr. Welcher did not rely on Trooper Paul's analysis or reports, and he did not rely on the conclusion of Dr. Scortibello of undetermined. If they want to call Trooper Paul, well, maybe they can try to do that, but Dr. Welcher is not the right witness for it.
But he said try to do it.
Try to do a credibility evaluation.
You don't let them call Trooper Paul.
Is a core preclusion in criminal law, a core preclusion. You cannot vouch for the credibility of another witness. You cannot comment. It's like asking, did the police officer lie when he said the light was red? It's the absolute same analysis. It just has a lot of icing on it.
Very briefly, bring the jury, start getting the jury ready, please.
Your Honor, with regard to Trooper Paul, Mr. Brennan did not address 80% of the slides that I addressed that showed the basis. When he talked about the picture, making it seem like the picture is the only thing we're relying upon, there's clearly other items, but even the picture, Your Honor, the purpose of the picture is it's got the odometer reading. That's why they took the picture, and that's the tether. So the photo is completely relevant. It's not who's in it. It's the fact that that's the odometer reading they're using. Next point with regard to case law. Mr. Brennan presents none to go against the common sense law and that has been there for years. The other thing, Your Honor, is with regard to Mr. Brennan keeps trying to put my arguments into a credibility, like we're trying to attack the credibility of Trooper Paul. He says that we're trying to redo last trial. To the contrary, Your Honor, it's the Commonwealth that brought Trooper Paul into the second trial through Dr. Welcher and Dr. Welcher's reliance on all the work of Trooper Paul. They've brought it in here.
Come on now.
And because of that, we get the right to cross-examine it. Last point. This is not about credibility. He keeps saying something that's not happening, that we're going to attack the credibility of Trooper Paul. What we want to do is to say to Dr. Welcher, you have brought up Trooper Paul. You have used his odometer reading. That odometer reading tethers through to Google. It tethers through everything you're doing. It's the foundation. But what you're ignoring, Dr. Welcher, are all the key cycle results that come from that odometer reading that you relied upon. Dr. Welcher himself can't cherry pick, grab things that he needs from Trooper Paul to do his analysis, and then the Commonwealth say, but you can't go after that because it somehow has Trooper Paul's name on it. It's illogical, Your Honor, and it's incorrect under the law. Thank you.
Under the law.
So I disagree with you, Mr. Alessi.
Oh!
I'm not allowing in the line of questioning regarding Trooper Paul, and I'm not allowing the line of questioning regarding Dr. Scordy Bello. So that's my ruling.
Stand
It's
up and
been
ask for a
adjourned.
mistrial. I'm sorry for you.
Well, come over here because they're on their way.
Every time I think I'm doing better, something happens and I see I still got work to do, because the way I'd like to throw my tea across the room, I just need to be able to control my emotions. I cannot believe she just did that. Why don't they ask for freaking mistrials? Like, that pisses me off. Why don't they ask for mistrials? Why do I say lawyers? Call these people. Why they don't ask for mistrials enough in this trial? I don't think I've ever seen them ask for a mistrial. Just ask for a mistrial and say, because the man clearly used they don't do it enough. And I think that, y'all, I'm really pissed at the moment. They don't ask for mistrials enough in here. And that pisses me off. Ask for a mistrial. Tell that goddamn woman she biased as hell. Tell her to her face. I disagree with you. He clearly used the information. Bro, it's so sad because this could literally be any of us. This could be any of us sitting right there. And the fact that the judge is even against the woman. Bear full of shit. Gigi, I need to stop letting her upset me like this. I really do. I need to stop letting this woman upset me like this. And I don't want to hear y'all say that bullshit. Oh, if she gets convicted, she's going to win on appeal. Appeals take time. Who in the hell wants to sit in jail while they do an appeal? Who wants to sit in jail? Nobody wants to sit in jail while people figure shit out. Like, nobody wants to do that. It's the fact that this one. I came in Karen Reed trial late. Okay. I just watched the first trial last month. The fact that since that trial, and we know it's a new trial, but they are literally trying to change evidence. How do you get to just change of evidence like this? Lord, maybe my brain is not a lawyer's brain, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is literally that I don't have a lawyer's brain. Tate, just goddamn stand in front of the jury. I'm requesting a mistrial. Just do it for the hell of it, for the dramatic of it all. Shut up.
Justice have any business before the Honorable Beverly Canoni, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court before the County of Norfolk. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The court is now open. You may be seated.
Good morning. We appreciate you waiting. We were doing work in here, but we appreciate your patience. So I do have to ask you those 3 questions. Were you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from discussing this case with anyone since we left yesterday? Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Were you also able to follow the instructions and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation into this case? Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left yesterday?
This is insane.
Everyone said no or should be. Thank you. Could we have Dr. Welcher back in, please? And Mr. Alessi, feel free to go to the podium.
You trying to do it with the computer and any electronics there so we don't have to address it?
It doesn't look like it's turned on at
Oh,
all.
okay, good.
And smart watches.
Alessi, I think we got us another YSL case. This morning, checked X just to see what was going on. Baby, somebody had a picture of of Welcher smartwatch, and they said who was he talking to or replying to on that watch. Did y'all hear Alexis say smartwatches too? Oh, baby, we got YSL again. They are watching. Wow.
Sure, I'll remind.
I'm trying to get you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, if I could, smartwatches that are receiving text messages during his direct, if we can make sure that that does not occur.
I can get my email number on. I think I'll talk.
Take
Okay,
the watch
or just
off.
don't look at your watch.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, Dr. Welcher.
Good morning.
Alexis is pissed off at
Do you know whether there was glass found on the bumper of Miss Reed's Lexus SUV?
My understanding there was, yes.
Did you reach a conclusion on whether the glass on the bumper came from the drinking glass that you assert Mr. O'Keefe was holding at the time of the alleged impact?
I didn't have an opportunity to inspect the glass, but the glass was broken and there was glass on the bumper. That's all I know.
So you, as you sit here today, you have no basis to conclude that the glass on the bumper came from the glass that you depict as having been held by Mr. O'Keefe at the time of the alleged impact. Is that correct?
Well, you're mixing a couple things.
No, Dr. Welcher,
So can
if
I-
you can just answer my question.
Don't do
If
that.
I need to rephrase it, I will.
Um,
I'll ask it a different way.
please.
Don't come with that shit today.
You have no basis as you sit here today to conclude that the glass on the bumper came from a drinking glass
How about you?
connected to Mr. O'Keefe, do you?
Well, we have a picture of a broken glass at the scene. So I wouldn't say we have no basis. We don't necessarily have enough to conclude it's from it, though.
That's what he asked. Yeah, I am so pissed right now.
Do you had depictions in your test with Mr. O'Keefe holding a glass, correct?
Correct.
My question is, you have no evidence to show at all other than, and I'm talking evidence, testing information. You're saying you have no evidence that shows that the glass on the bumper is not the same glass as you showed on your slides as being found supposedly at the scene. You have no test evidence that that's the same glass, do you?
So again, the one I have at my testing obviously was not the same glass.
Duh.
We have pictures of a broken bar glass in the snow near where Mr. O'Keefe's body was. We have glass fragments on the rear of the bumper. That's the extent of my knowledge on the correlation between those two.
So do you said you reviewed the reports and testimonies of various Commonwealth representatives, correct? That's in your report.
Correct, in the initial.
In the initial, right, correct. And some of those reports included forensic scientists who work for the Massachusetts State Police, correct?
I believe that's correct.
And you put those in your report as documents that you reviewed, correct?
Correct.
And as you sit here today, it's your testimony. You don't know whether in any of the reports of the Massachusetts State Police, there is an answer to the question of whether there's any connection at all between the glass found in the snow and the glass on the bumper.
I recall it being inconclusive.
Oh, so you recall that the testing was inconclusive?
I don't remember what testing they did, but for example, when they put the taillight fragments back together, they were able to deduce that the fragments were from the taillight. I don't think they attempted to do that with the glass.
Yeah, he just up here saying shit.
Assume that there has been testing of the glass on the bumper, and assume that that testing conclusively determines that the glass on the bumper is not the glass that was found in the snow.
Okay.
Assume that.
Okay.
How would that affect your analysis?
He just up here saying shit.
I'd want to know where the glass came from but we still have a whole bunch of other elements.
Oh,
So I don't think it would affect the end results.
So would it have any part in your analysis with my assumption that the glass on the bumper is not the glass that's associated with the broken glass that was supposedly found in the snow?
Yes, I mean, we always want to have as much answers or as many answers as possible. So I would want to know if we could figure out where it came from.
And wouldn't the fact, assuming that the test results show there's no connection, meaning the glass on the bumper is different from the glass in the snow, wouldn't that be contrary to your theory of what happened in some way?
why'd you say no?
It depends on when the glass was actually broken. The glass was in his hand, at least that's the testimonial evidence I have seen. So it depends on whether it's broken from contact with the rear of the vehicle or broken with contact on the ground.
Assume that the glass on the bumper is not the glass that was found in the snowbank. Doesn't that, at least in part, contradict your hypothesis as to whether there was contact by the Lexus with Mr. O'Keefe at 34 Fairview?
So if you recall on my slides, nowhere did we discuss that in my slides. So no, it wouldn't contradict it. I would want to know where that glass came from.
But you didn't seek that information, did you, sir, in your analysis to determine where the glass came from?
Well, of course I did. I read the reports about it.
But you sit here and you say you don't know the answer. There's steps you could have taken to get that answer quite easily. Couldn't you have, sir?
Not me. That's a material science
What?
expert.
You've been communicating with Lieutenant Tully, haven't you?
Correct.
You couldn't have asked Lieutenant Tully that question?
To my knowledge, he's not a material science expert.
What the heck?
But could he have told you the result of testing on that glass on the bumper and whether it was any way associated with the glass found in the snow? Wouldn't that have been an easy question to ask him? Just, has there been testing? And if so, what's the results?
Yes, but my knowledge from reading the reports was it was inconclusive.
Shit. Full of shit.
But you didn't read all of the reports, did you, sir?
Apparently not.
Let's turn to another topic.
Asshole.
Laser
God,
scans.
I can't stand Dr. Welch.
Part of your analysis involved conducting laser scans of portions of 1 Meadows Avenue, the house of Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
Those laser scans were used, at least in part, to answer the question of whether the collision between Miss Reed's SUV and Mr. O'Keefe's Chevy Traverse at 1 Meadows at approximately 5:07 a.m. on January 29, 2022, caused the right rear taillight of the Lexus to break, correct?
Correct.
And in that analysis, inches literally matter, correct?
Yeah.
You want to get it as accurate as possible.
And the reason why inches matter is because, and we're going to get to this, you try, and you did it in your slide presentation on Direct, you tried to see whether the Lexus lined up with the Traverse such that there could be a break of the taillight. That was part of your analysis, correct?
So the main part of the photogrammetry was to determine the speeds and the angles and the degree of overlap on the vehicles. And then we also looked at the damage from the video, or actually it's just where the snow was knocked off the rear of the Chevy Traverse, and document the height of that.
You said the main part. I don't want to engage in semantics. I want to go to my question of, isn't part of the laser scan analysis to determine whether or not those two vehicles align sufficiently such that the Lexus could break, the taillight of the Lexus could break coming into contact with the Chevy Traverse? Wasn't that part of your analysis, at least in part?
Yes.
Okay. And in that analysis, inches literally matter, correct?
It can, depending on which way you're going inches.
So the ring camera at One Meadows, you're familiar with that ring camera, right? At
Correct.
One Meadows?
Mm-hmm.
That ring camera at One Meadows was used as part of the laser scan process that you and your firm Aperture performed at One Meadows on October 2nd, 2024. Do I have the date correct?
I believe so, but like the videos were not literally used during the laser scans. We took the laser scans, the video, combined them together in the process called photogrammetry.
Okay, let's
We didn't actually.
get this down to the fundamentals. You used, and that was my question, Your Honor, if we could publish the exhibit with regard to the ring camera.
Sure. What exhibit is it?
Yeah, I've got my, yeah.
No, they did not. They lost.
Dr. Welcher, you recognize that ring camera as being at One Meadows. You discussed it, as a matter of fact, on your direct testimony, correct?
Yes.
Now, that ring camera was utilized as part of your laser scan process, correct? It was used.
So you're confusing laser scan and photogrammetry. The video, the laser scanners are together used in the photogrammetry. The camera and the laser scans are not used necessarily with each other.
Was that ring camera used for any part of your work?
Absolutely, the photogrammetry.
I just need to be able to finish my question, sir. Was that
Sorry.
ring camera used for any part of your work at One Meadows on October 2nd, 2024?
Yes.
And it was used for what purpose?
In the photogrammetric process, to establish the position and dimensions of various things in the video. So then we could go back and overlay the vehicles and track the tracks in the snow, as well as look at the damage to the vehicles.
Right. So this was used as a basis, not the only one, to establish dimensions of the other work that was done in analysis at One Meadows, correct?
Correct.
You can take that down, Mr. Woke. You know that the ring camera at One Meadows, in existence when Aperture did the work on October 2nd, 2024, was different than the ring camera that was in existence on January 29th of 2022, the date where you went through to see if those two vehicles aligned. Is that correct? The cameras are different.
That is correct.
And you know that the cameras are different, and you knew that as part of your analysis, correct?
Correct.
Did you document the differences between the two cameras as part of any work performed at One Meadows?
Yes.
And did you measure any differences there might have been between the location of the newer ring camera from the older one that was in existence on January 29th of 2022?
No, what we did is use the current ring camera in conjunction with the old ring camera, and with the laser scans, we're able to, again, map the points onto the scene. That's why I showed you the report from the photogrammetry software that reported our error.
Sir, my question was just measurement, not your process.
Oh.
Did you measure the difference
Get them, get
I
them.
don't believe so.
where the old camera was and where the new camera was?
No, it was angled slightly more to the right, though.
How do you
How
know
would you
this?
know that
Right.
if you were not retained on January 29th of 2022?
Exactly.
How would you know where the original angles were?
Because when you look at the first camera, the one on January 22nd, it's here. The new one is slightly over to the right.
That's That's an eyeball approximation analysis.
Oh.
That's not a measurement, correct?
Well, I don't know that we actually measured it, but we accounted for it and corrected for it. But you can see, for example, what
For some you don't.
the original one shows, for example, to the left-hand side, compared to what the new one shows to the left-hand side,
Let me get my-
and it's angled more to the right.
Sir, you have experience with Ring cameras, correct?
I do.
And I think a lot of members of the public have experience with Ring cameras. You can move just the camera portion ever so slightly and change significantly the angle of the camera, can't you, what it captures? Just a small turn,
Potentially.
right? Even a millimeter turn can make a change. A 2 millimeter, a 1 inch can make a significant change with regard to what the camera captures, correct?
Could, sure.
So, did you measure whether the newer camera that was present on October 2nd, 2024 was installed to the left? And I'm talking measure to the right, to the top, or the bottom relative to the camera that was there on January 29th of 2022.
So we solved for the camera
I'm
position.
asking if you measured, sir.
Oh, no, we didn't measure.
So let's talk about some other differences with regard to cameras and Ring cameras. Different Ring cameras can have different levels of distortion, correct?
Potentially.
Cameras, well, are you saying that all Ring cameras have the same level of distortion?
No, but again, they're mass produced. So you could have some that have the same exact distortion. You could have some that have different.
And you don't know the comparative distortion between what I'm just going to now refer to as the old Ring camera that was there January 29, 2022, and the camera that you saw on October 2024, which I'll refer to the new camera. You don't know the difference in the distortion between those cameras as you sit here today, do you?
So we know enough information that if the distortions had been different, our errors would have been too high. And so the fact that our errors are within acceptable, or what's called an RMS error, we know that the distortions are similar enough to give us accurate measurements.
Sir, that is speculation. That is not data. That is not a measurement. You didn't measure the distortion, sir, did you? If the cameras, you didn't have the old camera to do it.
We didn't, but we had images from the old camera. And then when we get images from the new camera and solve those camera properties and then overlay data from the old images to the new images with the point clouds, if that distortion is too great, we will have too high of errors in our project, which is why I showed the error report from the photogrammetry process to show that we have checked for that and documented that our errors are in acceptable range so that we have confidence in our results.
You do not have information from the manufacturer of Ring. You didn't present it and you don't have it as to what is the acceptable level of distortion for the analysis that you did, do you, sir?
The
You have that from Ring.
And I don't have it for Ring, but I
Thank
don't need
you.
it from Ring.
So now let's go to, if cameras have different levels of distortion, that would change the analysis in reconciling the difference between their angles. That's a pretty straightforward proposition, sir, wouldn't it?
So it depends on how much difference it is, but we have accounted for that.
With which model of the Ring camera was present at One Meadows on January 29, 2022? Which model?
I don't know. I'd have to go look through the data.
Do you believe I'm not going to take up the time to have you look, but do you really believe you've got the model of the Ring camera that was in existence on January 29th of 2022?
I don't know. I
You
need to
didn't
look through the
present it
report.
in your direct testimony, did you, sir?
I did not.
So do you have the model of the Ring camera that was present at One Meadows on October 2nd, 2024?
No.
So you don't have even the model for either one of them?
Nope, but we have videos from both of them and scans of the scene.
So now let's talk about another aspect of Ring cameras. They have mechanisms, as I was talking about earlier, that allow the user to adjust the camera angle, correct?
Correct.
And do you know whether there was a difference in the camera angle between the two cameras?
Yes, as we already discussed, there was a slight difference in the
But
angles.
you don't have a measurement of that, right, sir?
Correct.
Okay.
But we accounted for it.
So wouldn't a difference in models of Ring cameras be relevant at all to your analysis of trying to reconcile any differences between them?
So if you have video from both of them and you have laser scans with three-dimensional geometry of the scene, you can go in, and it's called a reverse camera analysis, and solve for the distortion properties. The scans give you the real world dimensions. So once you know the real world dimensions, you can then go in, and then solve for the camera lens properties based upon the real world distortions. So for example, if there's a little bit of bending at the end, the laser scan data will show that, and you can correct for that knowing information about the laser scanner.
I'll ask
the
the
laser
question.
scan data.
I'm sorry, I thought you finished, sir. I'm going to ask the question again because it's a narrow question. Wouldn't knowing the difference in the models be relevant? That's all I'm asking. Wouldn't it be relevant to your analysis of reconciling the differences to them? Wouldn't
No.
it be relevant?
No.
So you think the different models are irrelevant to any process you occasioned at one? It's irrelevant.
So the analysis of the video itself is more important than the models?
I'm not asking if it's more important. I'm just asking, would it be relevant?
No, I don't believe it'd be relevant.
Now let's go to another aspect of the cameras. Are key parameters in a camera that the software needs to know focal length?
It is.
Is imaging size something that is an important parameter in a camera?
Yes.
Is our sampling characteristics an important parameter in cameras?
Can be.
Is the principal point, you understand that concept, sir? Is that an important parameter in a camera?
Define how you're using principal point.
Sure. A principal point of an image is the point where a camera's direct line of sight, called, as you may know, the optical axis, intersects the image plane. Does that
Gotcha,
sound
yes.
familiar?
Mhm.
So isn't that the image's mathematical center, the principal point?
More or less, yes.
And for high accuracy photogrammetric work, it's important to know if the lens is mounted centered over the image sensor due to the small manufacturing variances, correct?
Could be important.
And if the principal point is the center of the image. That's relevant. So doesn't that affect the mathematical calculation of the light ray geometry?
It could.
So the variance in manufacturing between cameras is a known issue. Do you agree?
I do.
There's small manufacturing variances that affect one of the key components of the fundamental parameters of the camera, namely the principal point, right?
Correct.
Did you perform the camera calibration of the camera in place in October of 2024?
Yes. So within photogrammetry, we calibrated the photogrammetric analysis to the camera.
Did you address the principal point in that calibration? Do you have documentation that you addressed that important factor, the principal point?
So the checking of the RMS error in the software takes into account, sums up all the potential errors in the measurement, which would include that.
Okay. Sir, you know the importance of all of these topics because the output of all the work Aperture did at One Meadows, almost all of it springs from that camera, correct?
It starts there.
Okay, it starts there. And if the starting point is wrong, then where you go from the starting point is going to be at least potentially wrong, correct?
Potentially.
What are we talking about first?
Would you agree that Ring cameras have a swiveling mechanism so that the user can adjust the camera angle?
Some do.
Do you know whether the camera that was in existence on January 29, 2022 had a swiveling mechanism?
I believe it did.
Believe, do you know?
I do not know for a fact,
Oh.
but those style of Ring cameras on the surveillance have adjustability that includes angle.
But you don't know whether the camera that was there, the specific camera on January 29, 2022, had a swiveling mechanism or not, correct?
Correct.
And do you know whether the camera that you saw in October of 2024 had a swiveling mechanism on it?
It did.
And where did you document the fact that it had a swiveling mechanism?
I think we have photos of the camera.
Did you document it in writing, and did you document the tolerance of the swiveling mechanism?
No.
Let's go to, and again, all of the camera, this camera that you used is the starting point for your laser scan and photogrammetry process, correct?
Correct.
All right. Let's go to another topic. On your direct testimony, as I recall, you stated essentially from various information that you lined up in the video, and we're talking about the lining up of the Lexus with the Traverse. And this is at One Meadows. And so, as I understand what you did, sir, is you took what are called point clouds, 3D images, created them for the Lexus. You took created 3D images, synonym point clouds of the Traverse, and then you attempted to line them up to determine, among other things, whether they would align sufficient so that the Lexus could line up and potentially hit the Traverse such that the tail light of the Lexus could be broken. Was that at least part of your analysis?
That was part. There was more.
So you showed a slide, a few slides, and with your Honor's permission, what I'd like to do is to start with slide 90.
All right, do you have any problem with Dr. Welcher keeping his printed copy?
He can look.
I have no problem with the printed copy, Your Honor.
Okay, he got a little printed.
So, I'm sorry, what slide again?
90.
Your Honor, my printed copy is tiny.
Okay.
Can I
Can
pull it
you
up?
see the,
Yes. Yeah.
Then what the hell did he pick it up for? Hey,
Does
Ed,
that slide that's part of your presentation depict a view from the top of the Lexus on the right and the Chevy Traverse on the left?
Correct.
And is that depicting contact between the two vehicles?
It is.
Now let's zero in a closer look,
y'all.
and that is a contact point. Am I correct?
Correct. I mean, there's multiple points. There's more than
Multiple
one.
points, but it shows more clearly the contact
Correct.
between the two
He
vehicles.
can't see it. I'm sick of him, y'all.
Now, if we could. The next,
I can't see crowns, child. Let me see these.
and that is number 91, Mr. Wolf. So Your Honor, 91. I think these are just going to go in order for a few, and I'll keep announcing them. So this is 91, same vehicles, just a different viewpoint. Is that correct, Dr. Welcher?
Correct. This and the next
I
slide.
just want to stay
I know.
with this one. I just
Hold on a
asked the
second.
question, does it show the contact?
How you gonna tell Leslie? Hold up a second.
This slide and all the other slides, we're trying to show the angle of contact, but because it's two-dimensional image, you're losing some perspective. For example, here you're seeing the chrome piece on Mr. O'Keefe's Chevrolet, which is on the right. You're seeing it obviously behind where the Lexus is. So we were trying to show it at a whole bunch of different angles to try and illustrate the degree of closeness or lack thereof.
Alrighty. So
Thank you.
is it correct that on your direct examination, you said in sum and substance,
Yes.
we looked at the degree of overlap and there's only about a 2 to 3 millimeters of overlap between the vehicles. Is that what you recall saying on direct?
That is correct.
And that you stated that that supposed 2 to 3 millimeters of overlap was insufficient to cause the taillight of the Lexus to contact the rear of the Chevrolet. Do you recall saying that?
That's correct.
Now, I would like you to look at that. This is from your slide presentation. Is that not showing contact between the two vehicles?
Oh, it absolutely is not. What you're seeing is a portion of the vehicle that is behind the area. Keep in mind the angle, the Lexus is angled off to the left. So the area that you see here is actually, in this case, in front of where the taillight is. This is why we tried showing it from a whole bunch of different angles, because when you try and take a two-dimensional image and look at it, you see stuff in the background. So and again, this is why in the computer, we overlaid them, looked at the measurements, in the computer where you don't have this, we have the three-dimensional measurements and it does not hit.
Where did you show in your slide presentation what you just said that it doesn't show an overlap?
So
Where?
it shows a contact. It definitely contacted, I'm sorry, Mr. Reporter, down below here. It does not show a contact here. So to answer your question, all the next slides were our attempt to do that. So all the next slides is your answer.
We're going to go to those next slides. So you're, just to be clear, you're saying that that depiction does not show any contact between the taillight of the Lexus and the Chevy Traverse.
So the upper taillight, just to be clear, because the lower taillight is much closer.
Well, it's not only much closer, it's in contact, isn't it, sir?
It's very close. It's probably within an inch being in contact.
Oh, so you state that even the lower part of the taillight is not making contact?
So if, again, maybe there's a photo we could show or a scan. That is on the rear of the vehicle.
You don't get
and it contacts on the corner, which is just around, so maybe like an inch or so in front of it on the corner.
I'm just going with what you presented in your slide
Well, let's go to the
presentation.
next slides and then
Sir,
maybe
I
we'll see
will
it.
determine which slides we go to on my questioning.
I'm just
So
hoping to
now
answer your
let's
question.
go to Mr. Wolf, the next slide
There we go.
in your presentation.
Baby, Leslie said he's not.
My question is zeroing in.
He is, Kiss. Thank you for the
Are
super
you
chat.
saying that that slide does not show contact
Well, I thought I
between the
just
tail light of
Hey,
Ms.
Hey,
Reed's
Kaylin.
Lexus and any part of the Chevy Traverse?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what it shows. You can see a little better here. Again, we tried all these different angles, which is why all these slides are in there. But you can see some of the geometry of the light. This structure, and again, remember I said the Chevy kind of curves in as it goes up a little bit.
Let's go to the next slide. 40. 40, yes, please. Is it working?
Here's the thing about him. Almost every person on their jury saw their car move and they looked at those pictures and said it touched. He's
That's
it's a
exhibit
losing
40.
battle.
No, I have a question.
Kaylin, I
It's
love
not my slides.
Yeah, why is he trying to run shit?
So, Mr. Alessi, is this exhibit number 41 or is this from the PowerPoint? Because,
Slide 41. Slide.
okay.
He's talking about that's not mine. Baby, I'm so sick of Welcher.
Yes.
So I'm putting this up
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I want to show an actual photograph of that tail light. And I would like you, sir, to focus on the quarter panel tail light in each, do you see
Tell her.
a jutting out of the quarter panel tail light in that photo? Do you see it jut out?
So I don't know if you and I are talking the same thing. There are little fins here.
Correct. Now, what I'd like to do is to go back
Erica, she won't do that.
to
That's
the
like right.
depiction we were just looking at. And that depiction doesn't show the jutting out, does it?
No, it does. Those are actually more on the side of the vehicle. You can't see them in this image.
Correct. You
But-
can't see them.
Hold on a second. I wasn't finished. But
Sir.
they are 100% there. We
Bev got the
actually did special hand scans with a hand scanner of the taillight to put it back on to the vehicle.
You say they're 100% there, but you can't see it in that depiction, can you? The jutting out that you could see in the two-dimensional one we just saw. You can't see it.
I can't see who's behind that wall because it's being blocked by something. I can't see on the side of that taillight because it's on the side I can't see. It's being blocked.
Sir, my question is simple. You cannot see the jutting out of the tail light in this depiction, can you?
Correct.
Okay, now let's go on to the next question in this topic. You could have easily solved what you consider to be the issues you had with trying to show it lining up, couldn't you, sir? You had an easy solution for that.
I took the best solution.
Oh,
I'm not sure what
You
you're referring
had
to.
3D images, correct?
I did.
You could have shown and measured 3D images to get almost the exact contact point and almost the exact dimensions if you had just used the 3D images that you had available to you. Isn't that correct?
That's exactly what we did. When I went through the video analysis, I showed you how we overlaid the point clouds, the 3D scans on top of each vehicle. So we took the, we took
Sir,
the vehicles.
please don't interrupt.
Hold on.
Your
Hold
Honor,
on.
he keeps referencing my hand and saying I'm doing something when I'm not. And I think that's distracting to the jury.
So-
I'm not interrupting
Hold
him.
on.
Let the
Bev,
witness
get this shit
answer the
together.
I am.
question.
I'm just holding my hand like this, Your Honor. He keeps
Get this
saying that I'm doing
together,
something.
nigga.
Mr. Leslie, please.
All right.
no, you
Go
playing.
ahead,
Get
finish
this
the
shit
answer.
together because he's
Again,
out
in the
of order.
photogrammetric analysis, I showed the video.
She let him
I showed how we
do it.
overlaid the point cloud on top of the video.
Oh,
That proves that the way we solved it, correct camera characteristics, matches. Otherwise, that would be distorted. We overlaid the scans of the
let's
Lexus
not act like this.
into the photogrammetric analysis. We overlaid the scans of the scene into the photogrammetric analysis. We overlaid all that stuff into the analysis. We did exactly what you're suggesting.
You could have easily addressed this issue by the following.
Bev got some. She has.
If you really believe there was no contact or not sufficient contact, you could have produced a graphic that shows a gap between the two vehicles. A graphic, couldn't you? That's not a graphic.
What is that?
Sir,
Yeah, you tell us.
I get to ask the questions and you are to answer them subject to the judge's ruling. So my question is, couldn't you have created a graphic that
That's-
would have better shown the issue that you are creating or talking about today? That's my question. Couldn't you have created a graphic?
We did. We created a whole bunch of graphics.
You called what we just saw a graphic?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's stop arguing.
Well, if there's a gap, why isn't there then something that shows a clear gap?
Because when you have the angulation of the vehicles,
It's a zoomed
you
in
have
picture.
perspective. When you're looking at it, even if you do a top down, you see everything projected onto a single flat plane. So you can't tell the height of things. So when you see things in this dimension, you can't necessarily see depth of things.
All I know is
So you lose in two-dimensional images, you lose one dimension depending on which way you're looking. That's why I
don't
showed
see
it from all these different angles to try and show exactly what you're saying. We had graphics to do that.
3D images allow you to show perspectives
He did the shit on
for
purpose.
360 degrees, correct? Is that correct?
That is correct.
So none of what you presented in your slideshow shows the contact points from 360 degrees, does it?
I don't understand your question. Are you asking if I showed it at every single, I went through 360 slides that showed it at every single degree?
Sir, let's move on. I think I've made the point.
So I'm going to strike the comment,
Okay.
Mr. Leslie.
Dr. Welcher, let's go to the next topic. And keep with these two depictions. Are these two images point clouds or 3D images? Are these two?
Those are one and the same thing. Yes.
I would use them as synonym. Which term of the two do you want to use? Point cloud or 3D images?
Both are fine. It's a 3D image composed of points, which
Okay, so let's just call them 3D images, so we
Okay.
can do this more quickly.
Right, because you are in.
The Lexus and the
Oh, I
Chevy
hate
Traverse
this man.
that are depicted there are both 3D images of those vehicles, correct?
correct.
And Aperture created the 3D images, correct?
Correct.
Sir, did you do these scans and did you personally create these images?
No, one of the assistants at Aperture did.
So you're speaking about what somebody else did at Aperture, correct?
They were doing it at my direction. And for example, the Lexus scan, I showed the photographs. You can see the gentleman that works at Aperture, Mike Morelli, was scanning them for me while I was doing the rest of the inspection. And then the hand scanning of the rear taillight was done by another engineer.
Not your
I was
work.
out there with him doing it, taking measurements.
Not your
And then same thing with the Chevy Traverse.
My question is, you didn't do the
Mark,
creation
I don't know
of these
for
3D images, did you?
Uh,
No.
The individual images, no.
All right, so let's go to these individual images. These are 3D images. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Let's look at the taillight.
Okay.
That's not a 3D image. That's a Photoshop, isn't it?
Nope.
Photoshop.
So it's your testimony that that taillight is a 3D image.
That absolutely is a 3D image. The way you can tell is when you get up near the chrome, because lasers don't like shiny objects, you start to get a scatter. So see all these dots here? If that was a photo, you wouldn't have these dots.
Let's go to the Chevy Traverse. Is there
It's a Photoshop.
let's, Mr. Woke, zero in on the content. Yeah. There's grain on that taillight, in the taillight. That's a 3D image of a taillight, isn't it, sir?
They're both 3D images.
Well, I just want to stay with one. That taillight is a 3D image, and one of the ways you can tell is because it's got all that grainy material on it, correct?
Correct.
Now let's go back, Mr. Woke, to the Lexus. Let's now go to the bumper.
But do you want me to explain the difference?
No,
No.
thank you. I would like to go to the bumper.
Is it? Thank
Do you
you.
see the predominance of any grainy image on the bumper?
There's a little bit. So for example, when you get near edges, it has a hard time with edges.
I'm sorry, the bumper cover. See the bumper cover up above?
This whole thing is the bumper cover. That's the step pad. That's the rear body panel or the rear deck lid.
I'm talking about the step pad, sir. Just the step pad of the bumper?
Are you asking about just from here to here?
Oh,
Correct.
God, y'all
The-
think
the-
it's crazy.
The bumper step
Can we
pad.
zoom in on it?
Pardon me?
Can we zoom in on it?
For
Sure.
what?
Do you see any?
Yeah, I see graininess.
Let's go over to.
Right in here. You can see it all through here. You see it through here.
Well, I'm talking about the step pad,
I
not
can't
the
see
entire
it.
bumper. I'm just talking about the step pad.
Right. So you're zooming in on the bumper.
Right.
The step pad is this structure up
We're,
here.
we're going to move up. It just takes a while. So your testimony is that is
Can you zoom in more?
that's, you would like it zoomed in?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Your testimony is that that is a 3D image, not a Photoshopped step bumper cover. Is that correct?
So we have mapped the color over the 3D scans. We used 2 separate scanners. If you recall, when I got out to Miss Reed's vehicle, that taillight was gone. So we had to replace the taillight.
Talking about the bumper cover, not the taillight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm explaining the process.
I just asking about the bumper cover, not the process.
So focus your answer on the bumper.
Yes.
That is a laser scan.
Yeah.
Okay, so your
That's a 3D
testimony
model.
is the step part of the bumper cover is a 3D image from a laser scan, and it's not a Photoshop. That's your testimony.
Absolutely.
And you didn't perform the work for the 3D that you claim the bumper step up is. You didn't do that work to produce that depiction, did you, sir? Somebody
So-
else in your firm did it.
So this is all done at my direction. The engineers that work for me, so I'm telling them what to do. I'm not the one punching the keys.
That's
I'm
my
saying,
question.
I need you to do this, and this. Use the hand scanner, go scan the light. I need to put this back in because it was missing when we got to it. So no, I'm not punching the keys.
Okay, so
Why is he saying punching the keys?
Okay. Come on over, please.
She said that she just come out of her drunken stomper. Here's the thing. Stupor, sorry. Here's the thing. I don't even know why we have to argue at this point. I think Dr. Welcher is doing a great job of messing up this case by himself. The fact that he didn't do any of the work, that means you don't know if that is a Photoshop. You're going based off of what you would have done, but you didn't do the work. Because you didn't do the work, we can't trust what you're saying. Hey, and that we can't trust what you're saying. He is lying, Ebony. He's probably looking at it like, well, I be goddamn. He's probably gonna suspend whoever this is because you just embarrassed me. He is up there talking about what he believes it is, what he think it should be. I think this is a good line of questioning. Because who knew when we got through this? Like, I didn't expect him to do everything, but I did expect for him to, it's a $500,000 job, to be more involved. So just telling me that I told this person do this and this person do that, that's just not enough for me. Because you didn't double check their work. You have to check their work. The case is too big. This case is too big to do that. Bev has lost control of the witness force. She can't, he said she's losing control of the witness. She can't contain Bobby today. Bobby going balls to the fucking wall today. He is. Bobby is being bulletproof today. Bev, Bobby is Rambo. Bobby is pissed. And you can tell, you've never heard him go off like this before. You can tell he's.
with regard to, no, we don't need to back up, Mr. Wolf. Isn't it correct that 3D images allow for proper and most accurate measurements as opposed to 2D images? Is that a correct general statement?
You're a good point, Mira.
Generally, yeah.
Okay, that's my question. So let's go to the next topic. Let's talk about hydraulics on the Lexus SUV. What type of hydraulic system does the Lexus SUV have?
So it has a mechanism, I believe it's actually pneumatic. It's air-based system that raises it up and down.
Do you know what the name of that system is, sir?
Nope.
No, not off the top of my head.
Do you know how it works
I do.
specifically?
Well, I know generally that there's a button on the interior where you can raise and lower the ride height.
And is that the extent of your knowledge of that system on the Lexus?
No, I know when you park it, it'll drop down the ride height. When you adjust it for different roadway conditions, it'll change the ride height.
Do you know what the height tolerances are? In other words, the lowest to the highest?
I believe it's around 1.25 inches. At one point in time, I measured it. I don't remember off the top of my head.
So you believe it's 1.25 inches up and 1.25 inches down? How do you apply the 1.25 inches?
I recall the total being like 1.25 inches, but I measured it at one point in time. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Would you be surprised to hear that the tolerance is 5 inches on that vehicle?
I would be surprised. I don't recall it being that much, but I would need to double check.
Assume
Mhm.
that the manual, as well as other informations, support that the tolerance is 5 inches and that specifically the vehicle can be raised 3 inches high and it can be lowered 2 inches. That's the basis for the 5. What was the suspension height of Miss Reed's Lexus that you used for your accident reconstruction analysis out front at 34 Fairview between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. on January 29, 2022, to determine whether it was possible for the spoiler on the back of the Lexus to make contact with the eye of Mr. O'Keefe? If it was even possible, what did you use for a measurement of the suspension?
Matched the measurements from when the vehicle was tested, I believe on February 1st at the Canton Police Department.
What match did you make?
So we aligned the bottom of the taillight, actually the sheet metal right below the taillight. So we adjusted the height of the Lexus to match that.
Did you in any place document what level the Lexus was at the time of any testing, meaning the suspension? Did you document it all?
Yes.
Where?
Child, it must not be in there. And it looks, you better have it flipping through all them damn pages.
Slide 107.
Can we have slide 107, Mr. Wolf?
He better have it. I know it, Kay. You can tell.
And then if you could zoom in on the lower photograph, the gentleman with the blue shirt. Zoom in a little more, please.
This all of this. Girl, he gets on my nerves, y'all. I cannot.
So if I may, we matched the bottom of the sheet metal here to photographs when it was at the Canton Police Department.
Sir, my question is, where did you document whether the suspension was at 0, whether it was +3 or -2? Where did you document that?
Right here.
And what are the numbers of the documentation of that?
I don't know. We were matching the photos. So I don't care what the numbers are. I care that the height is the same.
Okay, so I just heard you say, if I heard correctly, you don't care what the suspension is at. Is that your testimony?
No, I don't care what the suspension number is as long as the heights match.
I understand. I understand. So
Yo, what?
what was the suspension height of Miss Reed's Lexus at 5:07 a.m. on January 29, 2022, while at One Meadows and colliding with the Chevy Traverse? What was the suspension height then?
We assumed it was the same as when it was at the Canton Police Department.
Assume.
Exactly. You assumed, but there's no measurement like was just on that depiction. There was no note that said, okay, we're doing this very important and inches sensitive measurements to see whether the tail light on the Lexus makes contact with the Traverse, but there's no measurement and no documentation of what the suspension height was at One Meadows, correct?
So we took the closest measurement in time to the One Meadows event, which is when it was at the Canton Police Department. That was the best information we had.
Well,
The point
that
is, y'all
information
don't
isn't very
know.
good because the vehicle had to go from Canton to One Meadows. And when the vehicle drives, the way the suspension system works, it's automatic. When you go above 20 miles an hour, the suspension comes up. And when you turn off the vehicle, it goes down so you can get out easier. So it would be improper to assume that the suspension at One Meadows would be the same at another location.
That's the only, sorry.
Was there an objection? Go ahead and answer, please.
That's the extent of the information we had. We had it when it was at the Canton Police Department.
That's-
We matched that height.
Sorry, Sergeant. I understand.
But actually, you brought up a good point. It's going so slow when it's backing up that it wouldn't raise up. So the static position when it's backing up would be the static position.
But it wouldn't be going in backup from the Canton Police Department to One Meadows. It wouldn't be going back up when it's going in other locations, sir, right? It would be driving forward. It had to get from point A to point B.
Right, but as you pointed out, when you turn it off, it drops down, and then you turn it on, and then once you go above 20, as you indicated, it goes up. But when she's backing up, she never goes more than a couple miles an hour. So it's going to be at the same position as when you start, which is approximately the same position when it's off at the Canton Police Department a couple days later.
Do you know whether the suspension system locks when there is testing of the infotainment system?
Whether the suspensions, I don't know.
Okay, let's go on to the next topic.
A lot of stuff.
You're aware of the vehicle control, excuse me, Your Honor.
Ronnie, I don't know what's going on in the chat today, but I hope we got the lights up. I think the chat getting cut off earlier got them together. We're gonna keep the lights up. Alice, he doesn't know anything, child. I think he is just every time.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to go, I'm changing topics to go back now to Fairview, 34 Fairview. You don't know what the suspension ride height at 34 Fairview was on January 29th of 2022, do you?
Correct.
So therefore, if you don't know what the suspension height was, because of course you weren't there on January 29th, 2022, therefore there's no measuring stick, as you say, you assert that you would have accounted for it in your methodology. So you don't have the suspension height for that key day, do you, sir?
I only have it 2 days later.
All right.
Shut up.
So when you talk about key measurements, such as the spoiler on the top of the Lexus and the inches that are important as to whether things such as, is there a contact with the front eye, you don't have some data that would be relevant to that calculation, the sum data being the suspension height of the Lexus at that time, do you?
So we have some data. We have photos of the vehicle 2 days later. We don't know the exact height outside because, as you alluded to, we don't have a measurement on January 29th of it, but we do have it 2 days later. That's the source of the measurement.
You don't have the suspension height or the setting of the suspension of the Lexus that existed on January 29th, 2022, do you?
Correct.
Now let's go on to another topic.
He doesn't have anything. And I think all of these questions like this stuff matter.
Within the 34 Fairview on January 29th of 2022, I'm not going to go over them, but you asserted various measurements, height, width, with regard to the Lexus, correct? It wasn't just for the spoiler at the top, correct?
Correct.
And for all those other measurements that you talked about, you did not have the suspension height and the suspension setting of the hydraulic system of the Lexus on January 29th, 2022, did you?
So the hydraulic's only going to affect the vertical dimensions. It doesn't change anything left to right. It doesn't change anything down the side of the car.
Understood. But for the measurements that are affected by vertical, you didn't have the suspension height of the Lexus system on January 29th, 2022.
Again, I only know what it is 2 days later.
So now let's go on to vehicle control history, sir. You understand what I mean by vehicle control history?
This is the extreme information.
Are you aware of what is called the Bosch crash data retrieval system in Lexus vehicles?
Of course, we showed it on my slides.
No.
And the Bosch crash data retrieval system in Lexus vehicles is sometimes referred to as the black box.
No, you're mixing up two things.
I
So
hate when
the
he
Bosch
does this
is like the tools.
It's a question, sir.
So you answer that with a yes or no?
It is-
Is the Bosch crash data retrieval system the black box on Lexus vehicles? I just wanted to repeat it so we can.
I didn't hear what the objection. You objected?
I'd like him to be able to finish his answers.
Yeah. So the question was just asked. Can you answer that question?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, next question, Mr. Wilson.
I'm going to ask the question, sir. The
you,
Bosch
Top
crash
Girl.
data retrieval system in Lexus vehicles, you're familiar with that? Are you familiar with it?
That's all he
There is
wants.
no such thing in the Lexus.
A Lexus does not have a Bosch crash data retrieval system?
No.
Have you read the report of Trooper Paul,
Yes.
the May 2023? Does that report not use the exact words posh? Let me ask you this. Do you recall?
Sustained. The
Okay.
objection sustained.
Let's go to the VCH system in Lexuses. Is the VCH system intended by Lexus as a diagnostic tool for their technicians, Lexus technicians, to assist in vehicle repair and maintenance? Is that what that is created for?
That's their stated purpose.
Right. And is a synonym for VCH TechStream?
Sort of. TechStream, similar, like Bosch is the hardware and software to access the black box data. TechStream is the software to access, for example, the pre-collision system, the PCS system, and the VCH, which is the vehicle control history. So TechStream which does a lot of other stuff, but does access that information.
You just mentioned Bosch, didn't you, sir?
So Bosch is not in the Lexus. You use Bosch stuff sold by Bosch, Bosch software and hardware, and you walk up to the Lexus with all the Bosch stuff and plug it in and download the event data recorder, the EDR, the black box. That was my problem. There is no
Understood.
Bosch stuff in the Lexus.
I understand, sir. That was going to be the question that I was trying to get to, but you've explained it, so I don't have to answer the question. Let's go to the VCH database that you say the stated purpose is to assist technicians at Lexus in vehicle repair and maintenance.
So I didn't say that was a stated purpose. I'm saying that's what Lexus or Toyota says is a stated purpose.
being
It's
an
being used in litigation
asshole?
all the time. All I know is that's what Lexus and Toyota says.
You know what he
But
means.
again, it came about right when we started seeing all the
Oh, I
sudden
know they
accelerations
do.
in
Oh,
the
I know
Toyota
they do.
vehicles.
So my
Oh.
question is the VCH database specific to Toyota and Lexus vehicles?
So it's not a database, it's software.
Is the software specific to Lexus and Toyota, the VCH?
Those particular acronyms are, yes.
But here's the thing, he's going so hard, Megan, and he's making the jury hate him. And
I
I
want to move to another topic, and we are almost finished. We have just two more topics, sir. How common were VCH events when Miss Reed owned the Lexus?
In 2022,
Do you know the ownership period of Miss Reed with respect to the Lexus? Do you know how long she owned it?
I have that documentation. I do it off the top of my head.
Do you have an approximate?
No, I mean, it was a 2021 vehicle. Our accident's January 29, 2022. But I did get that information.
Do you know how many VCH events were associated with the Lexus of Miss Reed?
I did not count them, no. I have them all.
Do you
I was
have-
only focused on the ones around our time period.
Exactly. Do you have the number of events. Do you know how many there were?
I can get it for you.
How long would it take, sir?
3 minutes?
3 minutes.
Why don't we come back to it
Okay.
and we'll see if it's.
How about I start this so that we don't have to wait for it to boot up? And then when we come back to it, it's ready to go. You
As
okay with
long
that?
as that's all you're looking at, sir.
Yep.
Thank you. And then pick your head up, please, so I can finish these two
Please,
topics.
go ahead.
So how often were VCH events recorded on the Lexus before January 29th of 2022?
Man, I have to pull this data up.
Fair
to-
enough, fair
to
enough.
answer that
I
question.
assume that's going to be in what you're also pulling up.
He said, man.
That's the goal here.
He said, man, I have to pull this data. Oh, my.
Would the number be about 15? Does that sound right to you?
What you say? I don't know.
Let's see. 1, 2.
What the hell is he doing? This is so terrible. Paris said he's on Teams. Bye, Autumn.
There's 18.
18. So there were your records show that there were 18 VCH events recorded on Miss Reed's Lexus, correct?
Before the subject one.
Right. Did you conclude that any of those events, other than the 1162-2, were a collision?
No.
Now let's go to reverse recorded events. Can you tell how many of those 18 events were reverse recorded events? And you know what I mean by reverse recorded events?
Yes.
The vehicle going in reverse?
Correct.
How many of those events were the vehicle going in reverse?
And this is before.
4. Other than
He asked
No,
you,
I
is
said
this
before.
before?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I would have to pull up the PCS file.
Can you start that and I can continue on with the questioning?
I got to. So the PCS file is I have a second laptop that
Here's
has
what I'm going to
texturing.
do. That's not important for me to keep going and get through it.
Okay.
So let's just stay on the events, okay?
Stop. Ain't nobody told you do all that.
Only one of all of those events, those 18, are you concluding that there was a collision associated with them, correct? Just one.
No, all those 18 are before.
Ronnie, let me
The
find.
collision's number 19.
No, I'm saying,
She sent it to me.
I understand what you're saying, but for all the other events that are recorded, you're not, other than the January 29, 1162-2, you're not concluding that any of those were collisions, correct?
I didn't look at them. They were so far mileage away from everything.
But you're not concluding, even though they were so far away and you didn't look at them, you don't conclude from the information you have that any of them were a collision, correct?
Sustained.
I
Let's
like the
go
question.
to
Why
5:07
was this one a
a.m.
collision?
on
Those weren't.
January 29th, 2022 at One Meadows, the home of Mr. O'Keefe.
Okay.
There was a collision between Ms. Reed's 6,000-pound Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe's approximately 4,500 Chevy Traverse. That's undisputed, correct? They collided, they made contact,
They touched.
right? But the actual collision at One Meadows did not register the recording of an event on the Lexus VCH system, did it?
Correct. It's too minor.
So, however, you want this jury, sir, to conclude that the glancing blow that you contend occurred at 34 Fairview Road by the same 6,000-pound Lexus in contact with a mere 116-pound man did register an event on the Lexus, correct?
No, the impact didn't register the event. As I pointed out, the trigger was from when the accelerator pedal went to 30%. The tech stream does not register crashes at all. It registers excessive acceleration, excessive steering, excessive braking, things like that, things that would be part of the maintenance system. So the tech stream will never register an event, even if you hit a wall at 100 miles an hour necessarily. It'll cause fault codes and things like that, but that's not what it does. The trigger here was transitioning into reverse and then gunning the accelerator pedal in reverse. And so when it went from 30 up to 74% throttle, once it went over 30 in that transition, that's what triggered the tech stream.
Ronnie,
It had nothing to do with, and that's why I'm telling you, I don't know when in that event the impact occurred, because the tech stream doesn't tell you that.
Thank you. That
You're
is
welcome.
Exactly my point. The tech stream information doesn't tell you when a collision occurs, does it?
Correct.
That's all the questions I have at this time, Your Honor.
All right, why don't we take our morning recess, James?
oh, thank God. Okay, guys, he's gone. Well, he's not gone. We still got the redirect and maybe a little recross. My only question is, we have seen direct testimony, we've seen cross-examination. Does anything we have seen, does anything make you feel like Karen Reed struck John O'Keefe with her car? Well, we've got redirect and then recross. So hopefully it's not going to take a long time, though. Hopefully it's not going to take a long time. Hopefully it won't. But does anything make you feel like she struck him with the car? I am no more convinced than I was before I started watching the case the last time. Oh, so I'm seeing a lot of no's. Seeing a lot of no's. Mia said, damn it, just bring on the defense's case. Let's see. Forrest said Twitter's going wild, so let's see what's going on Twitter. Give me just a second. Actually, I'm less convinced. Hold on, let's see what's going on here. I thought he was a terrible witness, y'all. I think experts, just like my girl SB, you want to look like you're an unbiased witness, right? Even no matter what your information says, you want to look like you're an unbiased witness. And I think he did a terrible job with that. He seemed very biased. He seemed like he had a dog in the fight, right? He acted like, hell, if I don't get this right, I'm going to jail. And that is not how he should have come across. Lona Tuna, I don't believe 24 miles an hour drunk with all those cars behind her. I don't believe it. And keep in mind, this trial, Ryan Nagel said he got there he was there from like 12:30 to 12:35, which means his car was behind Karen, right? Can't speak about last trial, this trial. That's what he said. So his car was behind Karen the entire time. There's no way he would not have seen her if she allegedly hit John at 12:32. So no, that's just not gonna that's just not how it's gonna be. Let me see, guys. I did want to see. Hold on, y'all. I do want to see what's going on too. I'm seeing a lot of stuff kind of just talking about him and what he's been doing. So wait, okay. Switching gears. Y'all know we're on break right now. did you guys, I don't know if you guys heard that everybody's been asking who Mia is. And who is this Mia person? Well, Mia is going to be testifying. Mia is, she's actually a victim, and she was Diddy's assistant. So I don't know if you guys saw that. I wanted to make sure I said that today, that she was actually one of his assistants. And I think we're probably going to see Westmoreland again today. I think I saw Mr. Dennis say something about that. She'll probably be doing cross. I see y'all text about Miss J. I am in a second, but she's going to be doing cross examination. I'm trying to see if she's up there, but I think Miss Westmoreland is going to be cross-examining her. If people didn't watch yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday, if you didn't read yesterday, they had Cassie's stylist on. The stylist was actually present for a lot of this abuse. He recalled maybe about 5 or 6 encounters to kind of corroborate what Cassie has said on the stand already. He did drop that she's had her baby. And Brian is crossing her, Shalon. I thought Miss Westmoreland would have. They also had LAPD to kind of confirm that there was this cocktail. The LAPD officer, just for people who are still like it's he said, she said, there was an LAPD officer there at the scene of the Cuddy house, and he wrote down the tags of this car because he said when they pulled up, this car left. So he thought maybe they had committed a crime. I'll have to run these later. He wrote down the tag number, ran it back, and it came back to Bad Boy Records. So for people still saying, oh, maybe she's lying, because I saw people saying that Capricorn was lying. Yep, Alice got that too. I saw people saying that Capricorn's lying. She's just a mad employee, all of this. Well, there are, at this point, guys, there's too much to deny he broke into Kid Cudi's home. It's just too much evidence at this point. The kidnapping, Kid Cudi did not talk about being followed by Diddy in the car, but the police officer could see the cars coming down the hill because he lived in the Hollywood Hills at the time. So they could see the truck and the Porsche as they were coming down the hill. They saw the truck take off, then they see the truck again. So, yes, again, I say this every day I talk about the case. I am still not sure if that's enough, but there is all of this stuff they've proven. Okay, this is happening beyond a reasonable doubt. You can reasonably assume he definitely was beating on this lady. The Kid Cudi stuff happened. Reasonably assumed he's the reason the arson happened on his car. What else did they talk about? Oh, the stylist said that Cassie told him she did not want to do the freak offs. He talked about her birthday, how he made her leave. She was really, really high. So I see what the prosecution is doing in that case. But that's what happened yesterday. Today, the stylist is back on the stand. And see, so let me call Miss J. The stylist is back on the stand, and then Mia. Let me see. I think the stylist is on the stand. I don't know if Mia is up there. Hold on, y'all. I want to see if Mia is on the stand yet. You helped pick her clothes out for court. Hold on. I wanted to see if Mia has made the stand. I think they're still doing the cross of Mr. Nash. So y'all, whoever this Mia is, just the same. We'll see when you get back. I wonder who too, Ash. And it was a partial print. And a lot of people wonder if it was Capricorn. At this point, I don't know why she would not have said it was me. So I don't believe it was her. So y'all, the next person, I'm not sure what's going on with Mia, right? But they will not give her name. She's going on, she is testifying under a pseudonym. They cannot, you cannot record or anything. I don't think you can sketch her or anything, but she could have gotten immunity, Ash. But she is going under the name Mia. And Brian still is questioning her. So she must be pretty important. I don't know why Dennis was talking about Westmoreland. She's pretty important. Let me see how long she worked for him. Damn, she was working for him doing Revolt. She worked for him doing, oh no, y'all. Okay, I know I'm supposed to call Miss J, but I wanted to see if Mia was on the stand and they asked, was he violent to you? She said, yes, he's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall, into a pool, ice bucket on my head, slammed my arms into a door, and he sexually assaulted me. Sexually assaulted you more than once? She said more than once. I don't know if sexual assault is sexual assault, so I'm not sure how deep she is. Yeah, they won't say who she is. I don't think they're even showing her face. I do know. Thank you, Heather. Mia's last name is Simmons. Well, okay. What? They asked, do you want to be in the arts? Mia, yes. This was before social media. Okay, so maybe she did work for him a long time ago. Social media, I thought if I put my mattress on my car and drove to New York, I could do it. I went to work at Georgina Chapman, red carpet dressing, then assistant to Mike Myers. So she's had some other good jobs. How did Combs hire you? I met with a recruiter. I met with HR. And there goes Tony. Mr. Combs interview you. She interviewed him at his apartment. He was on the phone wearing his underwear. What the hell? It says that her interview, he was on the phone in his apartment wearing his underwear. The HR lady left. Did he put on clothes? Yes, he eventually did. Did you get the job? She said, yes, I was excited. How much did you expect to work? A lot, but I didn't fully understand it. How much were you paid? $50K. What did you do on your first day? HR told me I was on trial for 2 weeks. Where did you start? She said his Alpine, New Jersey home. I was there all day. Then where? Back to the office for a few hours and then more. Then I was told Puff wanted me to come to the studio. How long were you there? Until 1 p.m. the next day. Then where did you go? Puff's apartment. Then home. How fast did you have to return? I didn't take a nap. I didn't want to risk it. How much did you sleep during your first 24 hours on the job? She said, I didn't. I took it as a challenge. Okay. There was a TV show a few years ago before called I Want to Work for Diddy. It was like that. And then they said, well, how did you deal with the lack of sleep? When I was young, I tell myself you can sleep at 3 p.m. So you know what they're doing now. This is going towards that. What's one of those charges? Is it forced work labor? I think that's one of the charges that they have to prove here. Then she said, how long did you stay up once? Now this is crazy, y'all. How long did you stay up once? She said 5 days. I take Adderall extended release. I could quasi-function and stay awake. When did you sleep? She said her hearing went and her equilibrium was off, blurred visions, lights that weren't there. I cried. Were you told you could sleep? She said yes. They said by whom? She said Puff. Why did you stay awake that long? She said I was working. Now let me tell you something. This doctor told me I had ADHD. I went to a psychiatrist and he put like, I didn't feel like the medicine was working, and I went back, and I think he like upped it or something. I was up for 24 hours. I called that doctor and I said, this is not going to work, because I was crying. I wanted to go to sleep so bad, and I could not go to sleep. Baby, one of the worst days of my life. I don't know how she did it for 5 days, because although you're awake, you know that you need to go to sleep. You know it, you feel it. It is driving you insane that you cannot go to sleep. I could not go to sleep. And this was like my first, I had probably been taking it a week or so. Then 2 weeks, and he increased it. Never again. When I tell you, it's nothing worse than knowing you want to go to sleep. Like, you want to go to sleep, but you can't. Yeah, I could not go to sleep. I was up. I think it ended up being like 30 hours, 32 hours or something like that. Mariah went to school, came home. She's like, Mom, did you go to sleep? No, I could not go to sleep. I could not. 2 days is insane, pretty. And you think about it, your body needs rest. So just imagine, this lady said her equilibrium was off. She couldn't see straight. She couldn't think straight, because your body has to rest. She took Adderall extended. Yes. Lex, when I tell you that day, I was freaking out, because, once you realize, and then, when you're taking something like Adderall, you can get lost. And I will tell you, even having OCD, sometimes, like, I have really bad with like organizational OCD. So my computer, you'll see a lot of files. I keep a lot of notes, ignorant stuff. It's crazy. And sometimes you will get lost organizing, and it's 6-7 hours later. So think about Adderall. If you want some Adderall, baby, it could be 10 hours. You sitting at a computer just working and not realize the time has gone. That's how it was when I wasn't sleeping. So think about this girl, 5 days. 5 days. That's what MJ would say about not being able to sleep. It bothers you so bad because you know you want to go to sleep, but you can't go to sleep. I've got ADHD, and if I say so, I need to go to sleep, my brain will stay awake telling me that. See, Amber, that's annoying. That's why people in college get addicted, taking that Addy. I mean, I would prefer, like, let me try to change my food, because I do know I have ADHD and I have to fix things. But child, being up, it eventually settled out. But being up, it was about 30 to 32 hours, child. That was the worst time. That was the worst time. Now, Kaylin told me I stayed up for 3 days. Kaylin, that is insane. Well, Destin, I know that Adderall will help with that narcolepsy. It is, but I can't imagine this girl saying she was up for 5 days. Krona said she was hearing noises and everything. It is. You have to take something. That was my first introduction. I'd never taken it before. I was 32 years old when I got diagnosed, so it felt like, oh God, finally I'm being seen. This is what's going on. I was 32. My mama should have seen it in first grade, but I'm 32. And I think goes back to, a lot of people say it's hard to diagnose women or young girls because we don't present the same way boys do. I've talked a lot since I was a kid, and that's one of the symptoms in little girls. But I was always a straight A student. I did extracurricular activities. I mean, I was a reader. Who gonna bother the kid who makes straight A's? Who is going to bother the girl? Like, my mother never had to talk to me about homework. I can't even tell you a time my mother helped me with homework in school. Always straight A student, just always, outside of talking, I didn't have any issues in school. I was doing everything in school. Who's going to bother that kid? Hell, meanwhile, I was struggling. And as I got older, it got worse. You stayed up for days when your brother passed away. Molly, all I wanted to do was sleep. Hell, sometimes I still just want to sleep. Yeah, it's Danielle. I think a lot of women are late bloomers when it comes to being diagnosed with ADHD. My son, I think I'm gonna have to get him tested soon because he's super smart. But he was telling me like when I'm taking tests, I kind of zone out. So I don't know if he's not interested what. So I do tell parents if something's wrong, try to fix it. And I'm not saying give them medication. Try to help your kids out in whatever way you can because it can be the difference between them having a successful life and struggling. B, really? I never noticed the OCD. I mean, people, you can develop it over time, but when I started to think about my life, I could see OCD-ish things that I do. Like when I'm at my desk, how I have to have stuff positioned right, or when like how when I write, if it looks odd, I'll tear the paper up, I start all the way over. Certain things like that. I think my OCD therapist was talking about people who read texts over and over after they've sent them, or it's just a lot of stuff I just didn't know because I thought OCD was just being really clean. Touching the door 3 times before you walk out. I thought that's what OCD was, and boy, was I wrong. Insomnia for 20 years. 4 days. Didi, I just can't see it, guys. You know, Ebony, I have a cousin. She has 2 autistic twins, and I always commend her. I got a homeboy. He has 2 twins that he put them in speech therapy. I mean, they're like 1. And I was like, already? But I love that parents are saying, you know what, something may be going on. Not something is wrong. Something may be going on, and let's figure out what it is and let's fix it. I love that. I love that with parents. Brianna, you know, I've accepted I am who I am. I am who I am. I have to work on certain things about myself, but I am who I am. The important thing is that you accept it and you work around it. Shani, go. One of the things that I'm super excited about is starting therapy again because, you know, I know you guys laugh and y'all be like, y'all laugh at me about, but this just getting up going with the day thing is not how I want to live my life. But since my mom has passed, since I left my job, really, since November 19th, 2021, I've really been a go with the day type of person. I don't like that. I want to plan. I want to look into the future. I don't like being that person. And a lot of that has to deal with things I'm going through, right? Baby, figure it out. Get your shit together. I love it. I love it. Child, Autumn, I love that. Autumn said it's a superpower, child. Someone told me to start doing like I won't start B until I finish A. This was a while ago. So I do that sometimes. It helps. I also try to attach things onto each other. That helps too, like my vitamins. I forget what book that is. Atomic Habits, I think. So when I brush my teeth, I'm gonna automatically pick up my habits because my vitamins, I've attached the 2 together. So you start finding little things that work for you. You just have to do what works for you. I thought if I was OCD, I'd be organized, but I'm not. OCD is more than organization. OCD is more than organization, Gina. And I think when you go to OCD therapy, you start understanding that. I saw so many things. OCD is really crazy. It's not just about cleaning. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you. Catherine, you know it was going to be 20 to 25 minutes. Thank you. We appreciate it. Has delayed speech, and I ignored it the first year. And in 18 months, I finally enrolled her in speech therapy. Fatima, my cousin, was really scared about her twins, but she was just like, none of us really noticed it, right? Until they got to be like 1 and they weren't talking. weren't saying anything. And so about 18 months for her, she finally started the process. Now, my friend, he was a little different. His twins were like 9-10 months. He felt like one was slower than the other. And so now he has them in therapy. I think we have to come to terms with anything with our kids, right? We don't want our kids to go through life with anything that society perceives as wrong. But these are babies. So I'm really happy that you got your baby the help that your baby needed. Which is baby bipolar in children. Oh, wow, Dee. And man, you said baby bipolar. I'd never heard of that before. I'm always learning something new on these lives. Oh, I love that, Autumn. Child, my mother was, y'all are so supportive. My mom was pissed. I was 32, being diagnosed with ADHD. My mother was pissed. And I'm like, y'all, when I tell you she was pissed, very religious. What she tell me? We're going to pray that up. We're going to pray that off of you. My mother was pissed about the ADHD diagnosis because she felt like, oh my God, you're so smart. It doesn't mean I'm not smart. I just got little issues. Mine is touche. Not Gina saying I'm ADHD in the Aries. Me too, girl. I don't plan a damn thing, y'all. When I tell that's the thing I hate most about myself is my inability to actually plan. And it's worse now that my mom has died because I think it's some other stuff going on. But or I plan too much and then don't execute. It's just annoying. It's annoying, child. Okay, I think they back, y'all. Me too, Amber.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brandon.
You were asked some questions.
Actually, it's morning, but yes.
You were asked some questions about the ring video from Meadows, which was John O'Keefe's home. And you were asked whether you're aware if the cameras had changed over time.
Correct.
The fact that the camera was replaced, does that any way affect your opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty about your conclusions relative to that touching between the cars?
Absolutely not. It would have shown up as increased error
Ain't gonna let
when we
them
overlaid the
talk.
point clouds onto the photos or the point clouds onto the video. If it was an error, it would have showed an error.
Do you have any concern whatsoever that any of the information from the scan is in any way tainted, compromised, or inadequate?
That would be very hard to do. You literally press a button and stand there and watch it, and the
You can
laser
do it.
does its thing. So I have absolutely no reason to disbelieve it. Additionally, again, if it was messed up, once you laid it over on top of the photograph, it would show the difference. So no, the data's fine.
Is there any evidence whatsoever that you've seen that any parts of your presentation were photoshopped?
No.
You were asked questions about the suspension of the motor vehicle of the defendant's Lexus. Do you have any information that the suspension at any point was changed?
No.
Yesterday, you were asked a number of questions about formulas. You took out your calculator and you were asked about different variables. Were those variables hypotheticals or were they related to this specific case?
So they seemed hypothetical. Again, you have to be careful when you're talking about failure forces on biomechanical things. For example, if you impact the hand with a, say, 1-inch narrow metal bar, that's a lot different than if you have a broad, say, plastic taillight or rear body panel. So when you have distributed loads, you can take much more. I told you guys about sitting on the bed, like how much you sink in. That's an example of spreading your load out. When you spread the load out, you don't sink in as much. So same thing with, forces on your body. If you take this pencil, I don't have to press very hard for it to pull in. But if I spread it out, I have to press much harder. So You have to look at the distribution of the load when you're talking about the failure. So when you look at the failure loads, it depends on what you're doing it with. If I hit you with a 5-pound 2x4 or a 5-pound pillow, they're both 5 pounds, but you'd much rather get hit by the pillow than the 2x4.
When you were asked questions about communications, when you would have communications with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office,
did you talk to me?
did you ever use encrypted apps to secretly hide your communications? Apps like Signal?
No, I don't have any of those.
So the form of the question.
When you were communicating with members of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, did you ever use encrypted apps like Signal to communicate?
Objection, scope, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow it.
But
No, I mean, I don't even know what that is.
I'm going to allow it.
Would you ever use an encrypted app so those
sick of
communications couldn't be tracked?
No.
Would you ever have any reason as a professional for doing that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Bam!
You were asked about confirmation bias. You remember those questions?
I do.
Could I have slide 33 of your PowerPoint, please?
Baby, yes, Forrest. You know that's what he
Slide 33.
I'm gonna eat Hank
A
ass up. I
second.
can't wait. And I protect my conversation too in a case this big. Oh well. Y'all,
33.
You could zoom
it's
that in,
not
please.
Emily. Scope.
A little
Hank
larger
just
so you
over
can
there
see it.
mad.
I cannot do it with one monitor.
You can't do it any closer than that?
Not since I took down. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Which part do you want me to zoom in?
Ms. Gilman can zoom in for you.
Sorry? Which part?
Ms. Gilman's going to do it for you.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
If you could zoom in, please. Okay. On shift position signal, going forward, then neutral and reverse, does that data suffer from confirmation bias?
No, that's strictly electronic data.
When we look over at the vehicle speed, can we go to the left a little bit? Down. Vehicle speed ending at 2361 miles per hour. Does that suffer from confirmation bias?
No, again, these are direct readings from the vehicle. Again, that speed on this here, you have to correct for the slippage, which I do later on in the slide, but that is a direct reading from what the speedometer is seeing.
Acceleration at the end of that 10-second window, 74%. Does that suffer from confirmation bias?
No, that's a direct reading of a sensor. That's objective information.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Oh, good. Good.
Anything, Mr. Lessie?
Your Honor.
Or let him go.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Welcher, you were just asked questions about slide 33, which is a slide about text stream data. You acknowledge that text stream data, what you have called a trigger, like was on that slide, does not tell you if a collision even occurred, correct?
Correct.
With regard to the topic of confirmation bias that you were just asked about in slide 33, am I correct that all of the questions that Attorney Brennan just asked you were about data on that slide, correct? All that's on that slide is data, correct?
Now, he asked me more questions than just this slide.
But were the questions just about data?
On this slide, it was just about data.
Correct. But confirmation bias is really aimed at opinions and conclusions and alternative hypotheses. Isn't that what confirmation bias gets at?
So generally, yes. Again, I started this case
It
with
was
the
just a question.
hypothesis,
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
with the hypothesis that the Lexus didn't contact Mr. O'Keefe.
Now you
And
have
so
an
I
hypothesis.
start what's called the null hypothesis, that this didn't happen. And then I look at evidence to either include or exclude the null hypothesis. So theoretically, my confirmational bias starts with a bias that it didn't happen.
So now you having a hypothesis
Can you point to one document
where you say that.
that shows that you analyzed whether there was no contact between the Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe? Can you point to one
Right.
document?
And he knows he can't.
On your slide presentation, that analyzed the null hypothesis, as you call it, there being no contact at all. Was there any slide in your direct testimony?
So remember what I said, we start with hypothesis, we get more data, we whittle down our hypothesis to the final answer. I mean, I had 130 slides. I suspect I bored some of these people to death already. So I didn't include everything. There's thousands of
You didn't
photographs
include
in
the
here.
most important
There was
part.
a bunch of testing I did with the Lexus about backing, pedestrian detection,
Shut up.
that, removed certain hypotheses. So if I was able to eliminate a hypothesis, I didn't present it here.
Sir, my question is not about.
All the slides show that, to answer your question.
Sir, my question is,
Where is it?
is there any slide that says alternative hypothesis to whatever the label is, whatever the term, that says no contact between the Lexus vehicle and Mr. O'Keefe? Is there any document that you presented to the jury that shows that?
Any document where those words are written on it?
Correct.
No.
End it right there.
And to work through
He
hypotheses,
is
different
so
ones,
annoying.
in confirmation, and to see whether there's confirmation bias. Have you heard of scientists refer that as showing your math, so to speak, in working through hypotheses, documenting each hypothesis and how and why you rejected them? Have you heard of that term in the scientific world, show your math with confirmation biases and alternative hypotheses? Just a question. Have you heard the idiom, the phrase, show your math?
Your question is, have I ever heard show your math, period?
Associated with the application of various hypotheses to avoid confirmation bias. Have you heard of that term used in that conjunction?
Not really in that
Okay.
context. It's probably, I understand where you're going with it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
No further questions.
Please
Dr.
get him
Welcher,
out.
you were all set.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Give me a minute to pack up and I will be out of here.
Get on off. Get on off. Thank God you're leaving.
Oh, I am plugged in. Yes, thank
There
you.
is a God. And we still got 2 hours of court, y'all. Thank God. Oh, God is good.
Yes, you can be in.
Brianna, go on, shout, baby. God is good. Please get on. Ship it back. Look, ship it back to him. Just get him off this stand. I have never been so happy. Get him gone. He was bad defense and he was bad on the state side. Get him gone. Bev, I'm sick of her. After what she's done today, she can go ahead and leave with her. It's okay. Dr. Welcher has gotten millions of bad press.
I'll do this out there. Yeah, step down.
Yes, you can. Thank
Like
you
Now,
very
may I
much.
step down? Get out and go home. May I step down? You sure in the hell you can. Loser.
Mr. Brennan?
Now, may I step down? Who else ain't calling y'all?
Commonwealth moves to introduce and play clip 26.
All of this, now he want to play a clip.
So I thought, could I have run him over? Did he try to get me as I was leaving and I didn't know it? I mean, I've always got the music blasting. It's snowing. I got the wipers going, the heater blasting. Did he come and hit the back of my car and I hit him in the knee and he's drunk and passed out and asphyxiated or something? And then when I hired David Yannetti, I asked him those questions the night of January 29th. Like, David, what if, I don't know, what if I ran his foot over? Or what if
Babe, I hope they play about the part. They didn't know
him in the knee and he passed out or went to care for himself and he threw up or passed out? And David said, yeah, then you have some element of culpability.
Sit down.
So the 207?
The clips were probably the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. These little intermissions, this is crazy.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth rests.
Hallelujah!
Does counsel
Hallelujah!
want to see me?
Okay.
So should we send the jury out or should?
Probably, yes.
So,
Ooh.
jurors, so everybody can see.
Give me a second while they do this. Hold it.
The Commonwealth rests. That means that the Commonwealth's case has been presented to you for your consideration. So I need to meet with the lawyers for a few minutes, so we're going to send you back out. I can tell you that it now appears that we're at least on schedule, if not a little ahead of schedule. So we'll send you back out for a short recess.
Rise to the jurors.
Right. Can counsel come to sidebar, please?
Now, what do y'all think they about to do? Now, I know they're not going to ask for a directed verdict because I would never play that with Bev. What do you think they are about to do, guys? Or do you think what are they about to do? What is about to happen? Motion to dismiss. I like it, Luna Tuna. First, I wouldn't ask Bev for a directed verdict because we already know that's a waste of breath. They might, but I know they don't have their hopes up if they're going to do that. Oh, Brianna said recusal. If they ask for the directed verdict, I know that they can, guys. I know Bev is not going to allow it. Motion for mistrial, something's about to happen. I just can't believe they've rested. This was worse than last time. Oh my, the Commonwealth has rested. Look at God. Why do I have? Somebody just said it's their birthday and the Commonwealth has rested. It's my 26th, actually. Okay. Birthday. Gemini season has officially begun. Happy birthday to you, Carter's mom. And I hope you have an amazing birthday. You're like me. I am 38, but I really go by 28. Okay. That is my age. I don't even know what year I'm supposed to be born in, but I'm 28. Okay. This is going to be, I think they're going to rest for it today too, but go ahead. Let's duke it out in court. Let's duke it out. Did I just see Didi? I feel like I saw Didi. Hey, Didi. She's probably going to do it. Yeah, you're right, for she's probably going to say, let's go ahead and end court for the day. Y'all, the Commonwealth has rested. I don't even know how to feel right now. She said, I've been 30 for 12 years. Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. It's nothing wrong because I told you I'm 28. Although my birth certificate says 38, I'm really 28. And come November, I'm going to have my 28-year-old body back. And hopefully the face comes back with it. So when y'all see me around October 5th, address me as 28-year-old Melody. Don't come here trying to say 87. Don't come here with that. I'm gonna be looking at y'all like 87. Who? So we're trying to see. Alice, you think Arca's gonna be first? I would love for Arca to come behind him. That would be really good. Kaylin, just wait. Baby's gonna be giving 28 come October. Y'all, I'm walking in my class reunion so fine. I can't wait to be in there just slim and fine. Can't wait till them be like, girl, you look like you could still put on your cheerleading uniform. I'm just gonna be like, thank you. Listen, I cannot wait. Gwen said when her friend and I turned 30, they decided to start count backwards, so now she's 5. That's cute. Shelly, it's all in my face, friend. Like, I have gained weight. Now, I will say that I thought I was going to gain much more weight after my mom's passing because definitely, baby, I hadn't seen a gym. Don't take care of myself for real. But I'm starting to feel like myself again in the sense where I'm like actually caring about those things. So I'm just happy it's not 40, 50 pounds, right? I can stand to do about 12 to 15 pounds and I'll be fine. But I am starting to come around, ready to get back in the gym again. I feel like my birthday, I was sad around my birthday. That has been happening to me the last couple of years. But 10 to 15 pounds, girl, I could stand to get rid of the stripper jiggle. I could do that. I'm still stuck on the fact that they've arrested and we still don't know how this man died. We still don't know. Danielle, remember you said this because come October, I'm going to be finer as fuck, okay? Thank you, Danielle. Paris, I noticed my chin and my face is fat when I post on Instagram. The other day, like, I don't have the biggest breasts, but the other day I had on a shirt and it may have been the way I was sitting. I said, oh, damn, I need to lose some weight. TikTok will humble you. The camera will humble you every single time. It is stripper jiggle. And you know what I'm talking about, Bia. I need to stop saying stripper jiggle because y'all know that's how that man almost got me, my old trainer. Y'all know that's how that trainer almost got me out here joking, saying stripper jiggle. It backfired on me, something serious. But anyway, y'all know what I mean. It's just, I don't like it. It's just too much skin. My body too jiggly. It's not a muscle in sight, but it's okay. Now, Paris, I am about to start Pilates. One of my cousins in LA, he's in Pilates now because he's trying to lose weight too. So I'm excited about starting some Pilates. Bia, I want a little jiggle, but not too much. After I asked Alice, I don't think they'll give me any diet pills. I can't wait for Pilates because I do think, I'm telling y'all, when people say your body changes, like now people say after someone dies, your body responds as well. When I tell you, and I know it's not because I'm in my 30s, I've gone through times where I didn't work out. My body feels the worst it has ever felt. And I think it's because my body is traumatized from my mom's passing. I really do believe that. Child, it's no way my body feels like this. No way my body feels like this. So we're going to see. But Shonda, I'm going to start Pilates. I can't wait. I'm going to post some videos for y'all so that y'all can see me struggling. But my body is so out of shape. Oh, it's terrible. It's okay. I've got 5 months to get it together. So October 5th, I can't wait. Step aerobic sounds cute. Sometimes I don't know if y'all know, in Atlanta, there's this Effect Fitness. They will probably, like this summer, I'm probably going to start with them because they do like live classes. You can do it online. I used to do them, and when I tell you, I really did, like, it was helping with cardio, getting in shape, but it's an intense class, though. I am, Jasmine, but Grace, it's been 2 years, Jasmine. I got to get it together. I use it to tone and body contour. Shonda, that's what I hope. I'm not like seriously overweight, but I could stand to lose 12 to 15. Shannon, let's not talk about memory. My poor children. Child, Mariah tries to ask me certain things. I can't even respond to her because I don't remember it. And I know like depression affects your memory, ADHD affects your memory, and loss, right? I've experienced all three. My memory is so bad. She was trying to tell me something last night, and I said, are you sure that happened? Because I'm starting to believe she's making up stories. Pole dancing is serious, Gwen. People need to stop. You've got to be strong to get on that pole. You've got to be strong. Anxiety does too, Autumn. Correct. Y'all, my memory is shot. I'm so happy I watched court with so many of you guys to kind of help trigger things, but I know that's what it is, and I hate that too. Jasmine is still baby fat. My youngest is 13, about to be 14, and I tell them every time I can think about it, it's y'all fault. I'm still trying to get rid of, I'm trying to lose my weight from after I had y'all. Okay, you're right, Caitlin. Let me stop claiming that my memory is bad. I'm having troubles and I'm getting better with my memory. Let me stop saying that because you are right. The man I used to work for, the record exec, I used to tell him it's his fault because y'all, this man would do stuff. Now, keep in mind, our office was in Cordova. He had $100,000 car that he would just sometimes leave the trunk open, the door be open. His memory was terrible. I used to tell him, you rubbed off on me. It's your fault. Lily said mine is 20. The baby fat ain't moving. Y'all, what's going on? Look at Peggy. They must be having a heated discussion. Everybody is looking over there. Look at Peggy. Jessica, see, you get what we're saying. Wait. I think I hadn't been on the scale. I try not to get on, but I kind of look at my waist and how my clothes fit. And I'm going to just say there's a reason why I like wearing leggings right now. My auntie tapped me on the leg. My auntie, she said, I did notice you gained a little weight there. Anybody asked you to notice that about me? Oh, me, I love that for you. Happy early birthday, me. I'm sure I'm going to see you before I'll see you tomorrow. But happy early birthday, friend. I hope you have an amazing day. Hey, Yates. Y'all, it must be getting heated over there. Look at the people. Look at John's people. Karen Daddy looks like he about to fall over. What is going on in there? Let me go to Sue page because Sue is she's got to be tweeting. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Let's see what Sue was talking about. What's Sue talking about? Okay, hold up. Oh, she's not tweeting. Well, Sue, what are you over there doing? Maybe she typing a story or something. What's up, Victoria? Well, Jessica, I need to get to it. I need all of that. Now, don't y'all come in my lives being messy when y'all see me outside on my patio trying to get it in now. Oh, my auntie wasn't being messy. That's my little twin. She wasn't being messy. She was right though. I have gained weight. It's in my face, girl. It's okay. After starting next week, guys, I'm probably gonna do the smoothie cleanse to detox, but I'm gonna start my healthy eating journey, meal prepping. I really do want to be down and looking good for my class reunion. The second one. Queen Victoria, hold up. Let me see. She just put male question mark. Yeah, Autumn, my auntie, she wasn't being a toxic family member there. She was being accountable. Now, Victoria, I hate when y'all tell me scroll up because okay, I got it now. I got it, Victoria. It wasn't that far up. Yes, they can. I don't think she's not gonna do it. I wouldn't do it for Bev, but we'll see. She's not gonna do it, but they can't ask. I'm gonna do Nina. I'm gonna start with the cleanse first, and then Mariah's really good with like counting calories and like the food that she eats. She's really good with that. So I'm just gonna do some meal prepping, get it together. The problem is my food needs to be available because I'll sit on here for hours and not eat. I've been doing better with making sure I have breakfast, maybe a snack. I've been doing better with that online. I didn't eat the oxtail yesterday. I did eat the oxtails yesterday. Ash, it wasn't me playing. It was Yates playing in the live yesterday. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was Yates playing in that live. Summer, I think the start of court was really good. Ebony, I need to get it together. Brianna, I may look into them, but I can make my own food too. If it makes sense, I'd get it, but I can make my own food. I need to, Alice, keto seems, I have to sit down and read it. That's the problem. Sitting down and doing the research. I try not to buy like junk food. Like I don't buy cakes. I primarily buy fruit. So if I'm snacking on something, that's probably what it is. I do pretty well with not buying like any type of really junk for real. Now, when I drive to Memphis, I'm always going to get some candy. I only eat candy when I'm driving to Memphis. She said the married men at the class reunion are going to be on the prowl. I can't think of one person I graduated with that could be on the prowl for me. And that I'm going to 2 reunions this year. Can't think of one. Now, let me also add, a lot of that might be my memory. I really hope I remember people. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a yearbook before the reunion. I don't want to depend on my memory. And you know how people be like, hey girl, and you can't remember their name? I have like 5 friends going, so I can't ask them. I don't want that. Also thinking, y'all, I might give me a little blonde 613 bust, the middle part bust down for the reunion. I don't know who I'm gonna be feeling like. I'm telling you, let me have my little 20, even if I don't get to 26 and a half, let that waist be about a 27. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna feel like somebody walking through that reunion. They don't know this, Melanie, right? You know, I might have to get a 1B. No, I might have to get a 1B bust down, you know? Little middle part, walk up in there like this. So when they hey Melanie, like they over here, right? No, they on this side of me. Hey Melanie. Hey. You know, give him a little shoulder. Oh, hey. Don't he turn all the way around? Child, you know what I'm talking about. You give a little. Oh, hey, how are you? How's life been? Okay. Yes. Listen, Bia. Look, no, Bia, this is going to be the question right here. How long has it been since I've seen you? It's been about 20 years. I can't believe I've been out of high school 20 years. Mickey, I'm talking about waist going to be 27. You know, I'm going to be working out so the booty will be picked up. Do you get what I'm saying? The booty is going to be sitting, okay? Waist small, put on my good push-up bra, okay? I'm talking about the Victoria's Secret good push-up bra. I'm going to be oiled up, just oiled up, looking fine, looking like Shamia when she was sitting on that couch in that blue dress. I'm gonna have my soft voice on. Yes, Ash, I'm gonna have my soft voice on. And say, she said, thought the same thing. She ended up in a room. Jaleesa said, baby oil. Child, I don't know why the reunion really makes me like, dang. You start looking at your high school pictures like, damn, let me get back. And Yates, I'm gonna be at the reunion like this. Oh my God, it's so nice to see you. How's life been? I'm not going to go higher than that level. I'm not going to go higher than that level. Autumn, I will do that because I'll be, I think it's in Memphis. Our reunion is in Memphis. So I have to make sure I have some lives going. Yes, Autumn, extra fab, okay? I'm going to be in there like, let me see it. I'm going to be making sure I'm sitting upright, you know? They'll say, Mel, you remember Craig mama when she did the laugh? Okay, that's the laugh I'm going to have all week. I'm going to have that laugh all week. I'll be at the reunion. Oh, stop it. Don't say that. Funny. I'm going to Craig and Kingsbury's reunions this year. Stop it. Oh, let me stop. Brianna, I paid for me and my friend to go. $375. Baby, I will be there if I have to. Let me tell you something. I'll be there in combat boots and my pink robe with shades on. Child, I'll be there. She said, use big words, Mel, like Lou told you. Yes, Nicole. Nicole sitting down like, where's the food? I'm famished. Like just sitting in there just saying stuff. Child, it's going to be a good time though. Now, I'm going to have to, now my reunion in June, I'm going to go live for y'all, but I know that one just won't be as nice as the one in October. I feel it. No offense to my friend, she on the committee. But yes. Really, Brianna? Now, my reunion for October is 3 days. They have it. Y'all, they are doing like, they remind me when I'm on my reunion committee. Like, it's a whole campaign. So cute. But my reunion for June, it's just, I hope it's a good time. My friend, my bestie gonna be there, so it'll be a good time. Now, June, you know, I might be 3 pounds down, which you won't be able to tell the difference, but I'll know. You won't know, but I'll know. 3 pounds down. Hold on, what Erin say? I see all y'all laughing. It's something foolish. And what are you going to say when they ask? What do you First of all, my reunion for October, they asked me to be a guest on the podcast because of the work that I've been doing with these trials. So when they ask me what I'm doing for work, I'll simply tell them that I'm a content creator. I'll say, y'all need to come on my show. Hey, Hallie. The Commonwealth has rested. The Commonwealth has rested. But yes, girl. So Erin, I'm gonna tell them, oh, I'm a content creator. Ain't no shame in my game, baby. And then I'll tell them, and if you need to buy a house in Georgia, you can call me for that too.
Orders in session, please be seated.
No, I'll say entrepreneur. Entrepreneur sounds better. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a few businesses.
Right, so jurors, we all, it happens several times a day, doesn't it?
Hey, what happened?
So we we don't want to waste anybody's time. I know we've spent a lot of time at sidebar, and we've had times that we've kept you in the deliberation room because we've been trying to sort through everything, trying to make this trial as efficient as possible, but also honoring and respecting all the hard work of the lawyers that's gone into preparing this trial. So sometimes I do understand.
Let's send them
it's
home.
frustrating for you. But today we were able to spend some time this morning. I know we kept you in there almost
Let's
an
send them
hour,
people
and
home.
we just spent some time now. So I can tell you that we are ahead of schedule right now. I still need to talk to the lawyers about something tomorrow morning. So we're going to send you home now and have you come back tomorrow morning at 9:30, because today I know we kept you until 9:30, and it doesn't make any sense where I already know I need to talk to the lawyers tomorrow morning to have you here for a 9 o'clock start. So tomorrow will be a full day, and we'll have you here ready to start at 9:30. Okay, so those same cautions. Please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into the case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about the case, please disregard it and let us know. And also, please continue to be careful with your social media use. So we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Surprise for the jury.
I knew she was gonna let them go home. It just really doesn't make sense for them to start today. But what? Shanny, I think I'm just gonna now you know I am gonna be in Georgia, so maybe I probably can just start it though. I'm not leaving until I gotta leave before 9:30. Because I have to be at the house at 9:30.
All right, so Ms. Little, if you can get me whatever you're going to get me within the next hour, so that would be great. And I'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 9
Thank you.
o'clock.
It's over with. Now they really just yeah. Autumn said what? Autumn Bev said we are ahead of schedule. And sometimes the lawyers, they have things that they need to work out. She was able to get a lot of stuff worked out. So they just go home. Court is over, India. Y'all weren't getting the hint that she was going to let court go? Okay, so before we get off, because it is early, I'm going to open the chat. Court's over. The Commonwealth has rested. How do you feel? Is the question. Okay? Court is over. The Commonwealth has rested. How do you feel? Feel free to come up. Don't say no crazy. I don't think YouTube matters really with the cursing, so y'all good there. But court is over. How do you feel? What? Not guilty. Bev should be investigated. I agree. This is bull. Besides, no one knows. I really do believe that no one knows what happened to John. And I mean, just say that. No one knows what happened to John. Not guilty 100%. This is kind of crazy. Free Karen. The police work was terrible. So the case was terrible. Simple and plain. Didi, I think that's a great way to sum it up. That was horrible. I think my issue is I don't know what happened to John, right? There just could have been the people in the house. I don't think it was Karen. I don't want to say it was Karen because nothing points to Karen, in my opinion. Nothing points to her. I think the only thing we can fault Karen for is leaving that damn man at their house. But I have way too many doubts. They have not proven that she drove that car drunk because you didn't take the test. And if I'm not mistaken, damn, I don't have my notes. Her blood alcohol level had to be at a certain number. Brianna, where you go? Speculation. Yep. I'm watching a video about 5 this morning, and they had put together all the different testimonies about Chloe. So in my opinion, Chloe did it. We didn't hear a lot about Chloe this go around. We didn't hear a lot about Chloe. Hey, Brianna. Hey, girl. Okay, friend. Court over. And I think you watched. Did you watch all of this trial? Because I know last time you were in and out. Were you able to watch this whole trial?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, friend. Let's go.
Okay. I just feel like it's just too many questions. You told me what her car said, but you can't tell me when those events happened.
And that's a problem.
So you really ain't said nothing. And Brennan, he really didn't piss me off today. He said 10 words today altogether, but he pissed me off each of those 10 words.
It made no sense.
It didn't. And it's like that whole counter argument, you weren't even addressing what, oh, that's so sweet. You wasn't addressing what Alyssa was even saying.
Nothing. How do you do that?
You wasn't like, you didn't address nothing. And it's like Bev already had her mind made up. She had that script. Yeah. Went home, typed up ChatGPT house to promotion, and then came back in here and was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say.
And I think the problem for me with Hank, like even yesterday's argument, today's argument, he did not have strong arguments, and Bev still just said, okay. Mm-hmm. We sided with him.
Yeah, she just sided with them, and then it's like, I don't know. You just, to me, you haven't told me definitively that Karen hit him, especially with that video on Twitter where they show her car getting towed and it was a 3-point turn.
Yeah, I think, and like I maybe I need to look through the evidence again, because the lawyer, was just like, well, I think they've proven that it didn't happen at that time. Thank you so much, Forrest, for gifting a membership. And if you guys got it, y'all know the drill. Tell Forrest thank you in the chat. I appreciate it. I think that I'm like, maybe I need to watch it again, because in my opinion, I'm with you. It sounds like they can't tell us what time anything happened.
No.
Nothing. They cannot tell us what happened, when it happened, just that they know it happened. So I'm with you.
And then, like, I just want to thank God for all he has done for us today and letting that man go. Yeah. Because, baby,
I need to work on myself, though. And I know, I'm way too old to be at a point where I can't control some of this stuff. I'm working on it. But I really wanted to throw something today. He was that annoying.
He was. I thought I was too safe for this, but clearly I still have my anger issues. And he pissed me off. I literally can feel him right here.
When Lexi said, I'm so bad I want to cry, I was like, oh, Lord, if I went on this live, I would have screamed and maybe a tear. Like, I was that annoyed by Bev and what Bev did. And then we have to roll from Bev right into him.
Yeah.
I mean, I can pull up my other laptop. It's right here. Oh, no. Go back to the screen. No, you need to. I was just like, what is going on?
It's so annoying.
Thank you, Forrest, again, for gifting a membership. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And y'all know the drill. If you get a membership from Forrest, please make sure you say thank you. Please say thank you in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. That definitely helps. Thank you, Hallie. Thank you so much. I don't need y'all. Hallie just made me remember. Let me make sure I got Hallie.
Summer Bev ain't do nothing today. But sit on his stand.
Yeah, I don't. In the grand scheme of things, right? I thought this trial would be better because most people say the second trial is better. People have learned from their mistakes. The prosecution, they learn from their mistakes and they do better. I think Hank did a worse job than Lally did.
He did. This is terrible. I feel like I literally was like thinking, I'm watching this trial backwards. Like, is this not the first trial? Yeah. Because there's no way this is your second chance. And this is your case?
They fumbled it.
You know what I did catch? Hank talking about well, you need to call Trooper Parker if you can. I said,
Oh,
oh,
you can. I said, oh, Hank is going to
must
fight
have
that to the depth of him.
Parker must got some paperwork saying that he cannot.
Listen, or something. Did y'all peep that? I think I put that online. He said, let me see what he said. He said they can try to call him. They can try to call him if they want to. I said, why? I said, oh, he's going to fight that to the death of him. He said, Trooper Paul's not getting on that stand.
Yeah. He knows something. He knows something.
Was he responding, Yates? Or was he just babbling? Like rambling? Because for me, he never wanted to answer the question that was asked. He'd start talking about something else, and then he'll go, oh, that wasn't your question? Hold up. Brianna, tell her about the video, because what video?
Did you see the video? I texted to you.
Oh, okay. Hold up. Oh, hold on. Let me check.
It's when they were towing her car.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I've seen this video on X.
And it's a 3-point turn. So it shouldn't have been another 3-point turn.
Yep. Well, I'm going to say this when it comes to the 3-point turn. The thing that we have to remember too is that Karen told them when they did the other 3-point turn. Remember in the I don't know which one of those documentaries, which is why I wish she would have just shut up, because then they would have just had to figure it out, or unless her people would have brought it out. But she told them that she did this 3-point turn around Cedar Crest or whatever. That's where they're getting that one from.
But they're trying to use that 3-point turn and say that's when she hit him, though, right?
No. So, what they're using a 3-point turn is so that it will be close enough to when they think she hit him, to kind of like make their timeline work. So, like, okay, she said she did this 3-point turn right here at Cedar Crest. So, moments later, we have this trigger. This had to be the event where she hit him. But I think they proved today their problem with that is Trooper Paul. Thank you, Kaylin. Trooper Paul was just added to the witness list Monday or Tuesday along with Higgins. They're definitely going to try.
My boss off next week, baby. I will be.
Y'all. Trooper Paul.
I don't need to see
Higgy for the defense.
I don't need to see Higgy.
I do want to see Higgy. But because there are these rumors, and I don't know how people know this, but there are these rumors that he's in rehab. I need to see Higgy. I do, because I want the jury to hear about, because they don't want to call Brian Albert and all of them. I want the jury to hear about how he said he saw a tall man with dark hair. I want the jury to hear about how he went and threw his phone away at the military base. I want the jury to hear about how why didn't you respond to that text message? Because y'all were just talking days earlier.
We do need to hear about them butt dials that we saw on 4K.
Let's talk. Oh God, can we question him about the butt dial that he said never happened? He never answered his phone.
Because who were you talking to?
Can we ask him why he snatched his arm away from Chris Albert? What was going on? Trooper Paul hasn't been fired, has he just said? She's my boy. He could probably drop 200 pounds in rehab. Unrecognizable. If Brian Higgins get on that stand
and he
is skin and bones, I'm done. But I don't know how do people know that this man is in rehab?
And usually people in rehab, they gain weight.
I'm gonna tell you, the Karen Reed universe has been much worse than YSL ever could have been, because the amount of information y'all online are able to find about people in the Karen Reed universe is insane. I don't know how y'all finding out all this information.
It's a much smaller town too. And one thing I hate about Karen Reed that I miss from YSL is the arguments without the jury on camera.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I hate these sidebars. Tell
yeah,
me what
yeah.
y'all saying.
I agree.
And then you can't object. You can't explain your objection. That pisses me off. Explain it. Because you don't know you assume what I'm going to object to, but you don't know what I'm going to object to.
I think I enjoyed that too. You're right. We don't know what's going on. Like they go to the sidebar and we're just guessing. Well, maybe they're arguing about this. Maybe this is what it's about.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what's going on. I agree with that too. As someone did call my friend a dummy yesterday because so many people online thought Hank asked for a mistrial. He said he'd like an instruction. And she was like, I'm not going to give it. Baby, then call my friend a dummy. I just been blocking people. Somebody said something ignorant to me yesterday. I didn't even respond. I just block away. I just block away.
On Twitter?
On Twitter, yes, ma'am. I just block them. I can go there right now. Every day it's because there's always people who find my tweets, and that's fine. But the moment you start calling me dumb, ignorant, stupid, just because I'm saying what I'm saying, you don't go do that on your page, baby. I'm just gonna block you.
That's crazy.
I have one post. Now I do enjoy reading the comments. Yesterday I read a few of them. I have a post that said, how do y'all feel about Welcher? It was 140 comments. I said, I'm gonna have to go back. Do that when I have some time. I enjoy reading them because it's so interesting to see how the general public is feeling about this case. And it's not always like you can disagree, right? That's fine. But sometimes it's the overwhelming majority when it comes to this case. She said they digging deep like they do a the boy on TikTok. Is that the man? I keep hearing a boy's name. Emmy said, Mel, you're famous on Twitter in the Karen Reed universe.
People blocking her. She famous.
I don't even know. Like that's still crazy. But I would say I have had the Karen Reed universe on X feels like what YSL felt for me in my TikTok and on my comments. It felt so good to just have the conversation and connect with people just about what's going on. I enjoy that. So when people say, oh my God, Karen Reed universe is hard, maybe so. But if you do your best to kind of just stay in your own lane, you can have a great time. No one knows where Higgy is. No one. He's MIA. As far as I don't know why people are just assuming that
I can't believe it.
I don't know why people are just assuming that. I'm trying to see if I had something crazy on one of my posts, y'all. But people just laughing at me calling Bev hair dry.
It is.
It is.
But I need to know, like, is that courtroom reserved for certain hours or what? Because why does Bev never work a full day?
Never.
That's why I said she a DI hire. That lady don't never work. Ever.
She letting them people go home. You know what was pissing me off yesterday is when Alessi was really trying to argue his case, and she talking about you got till 10 after you and the state. I said, where the hell do you have to go? No, this woman's life is on the line. What are we doing here?
And I feel like you're just wasting not only Karen money, but y'all taxpayer money. This trial, what day is this? 24? This could have been done day 15, day 12.
No, for real. It's all of these sidebars, and I feel like Alessi was trying to let her know that yesterday. Maybe we can hurry up if I don't get all of these objections and sidebars. Maybe I can hurry up. I don't think she was taking that into account. This witness and Hank are the reason that this has taken so long.
I know Alessi went home and laid that suit out. He was ready.
Thank you, Alice.
He was ready this morning, even though it ain't do nothing, but he was ready. I think I saw the lawyer, say he thought it was a great argument. I thought he was too, because in my opinion, just think about when you're doing a research paper and you start using references from other people's work. Once you take that information and put it into your PowerPoint, you are agreeing with what these people are saying, unless it's one where you have to do the opposite. Yeah.
So we are looking at his work, and we can reasonably assume that you agree with Trooper Paul because you're using his diagrams. You're using these things. If you did your own investigation, there's no reason to use anything from any of them.
Yeah. And I feel like at the beginning, I was kind of like, Alexi, where are you going with this?
Me too.
He came back and he like really broke it down. I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense. And it really, like, I shouldn't be surprised about Bev, but I was shocked.
I just can't believe she just keeps doing it. And I'm telling you, if Karen gets those not guilties across the board, baby, I would sit on that stand. And if I'm Karen, I'm gonna have my team bring some chairs in front of the courthouse, because I'm gonna sit on the steps and I'm gonna answer all your questions. And I'm gonna talk bad about Bev.
Where them flags?
He's not getting a fair trial, and that's just not. I believe our court system is one of the. It's not supposed to go this way. It's just not supposed to. No. And Bev is just proving time and time again how judges, they can, as we said in YSL, they can hold hands with the prosecution.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. And like you say, you don't want to do, well, you can do, an appeal. This is a second trial. Who's trying to do another appeal?
Who wants to do that, though? It's always people who are not in jail that love to holler. It'll be great for appeal.
Right.
You won't be the person in jail. You won't be the person in jail. So, of course, you'd say that. Hold on, let me get some water. Of course, you'd say that. But I don't think no one wants to go on appeal. Karen wants to settle this now. This has been now 3 years of her life.
And they threatened to just keep doing it, to keep trying her.
Wow. Raynette said he's going to try this case as many times as it takes. We need a not guilty.
And this is why the judge needs to come in.
Don't bring their names up, because they're not going to come in. I don't believe they're going to do anything. I really do. I sure hate to quote Jen, but maybe she did do such a great job they closed the case. No, Mickey, there's no limit. That lady could be 60 years old. They could still be trying this case. At some point, someone has to step in, though, and say, we need to look at this case from another angle. Yeah. ARCA was hired by the feds, right? They are the people who I trust the most. ARCA and the ME and the pathologists. The ARCA says before they knew anything about Karen, what happened, there's no way this could have happened. And I believe that.
Yeah.
He doesn't present like he was hit by a car. Think about Jen, the 911 call, not calling her sister, Brian Albert not coming out. There are so many things that make me feel like maybe there's another story we have not been told. Tell us that story.
And I know like Yates is on here, and I would love to, or Aaron, I would just love to really hear a lawyer's perspective on Bell's ruling, because it just, to me, it just seems like you're saying, well, you can't do your job. Like, you can't fully do your job as a defense attorney because you can't ask certain questions.
Hold on.
You talk about the process, but you don't want to talk about the full process. That don't make sense to me.
Okay, I don't know. They might be working, but there's the link in case y'all are not working.
Yes, the ruling this morning where Bev basically was saying that Alessi can't question Welcher about Proctor's Trooper Paul's, like, his part in basically his investigation and his analysis, because he's relying on some of Trooper Paul's work.
Y'all, what she's talking about is yesterday there were all of these objections, because he was what Alessi was trying to get into is Trooper Paul's his report, and then kind of talking about the ME, and he's really trying to say that this man had confirmation bias. That when he got this case, his main goal was to prove that this man was hit by a car. And so, remember, Trooper Paul's his theory with those key cycles was totally different than Welcher's theory. Then he's like, well, did you consider the fact that the ME ruled the manner of death undetermined? She did know. Did you consider that when you wrote your report, when you made your findings? Was this a factor? Because it should have been. Especially since he kept saying he gets his hypothesis at the end. When the hell does that happen? That was just crazy. Okay, well, if you do it, if y'all get it, then Yates and Ear, we can talk about it later. It's fine. She said when people say things like she can appeal or just sue civil, I stop the conversation because they're too ignorant to understand the cost, time, research. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spend how much money on just these?
What's that, like 5 million? Somewhere up in there. It's in the millions.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's in the millions, seriously. And I just, it's insensitive.
Yeah.
The woman has to keep going through this.
Can a family sue if they do find her guilty of what's the charges again? What's her actual charges?
Hold on, let me look them up. I know one is second-degree murder. Is it manslaughter and vehicular? I had it written down. Manslaughter with a vehicle. Somebody in the chat will put on there. Put it in here.
I'm thinking about the vehicular part.
I think the family is already has a civil suit.
Oh, they do.
Is Karen in the civil suit? I know it's the bars. But I don't know if they've Karen yet.
Did they serve Karen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't they serve everybody else?
Nope. Yep, she's in the suit. It's her and the bars. Yep. They are suing. That is crazy. That is crazy. Y'all know, I don't know if y'all saw, but Kat posted it that what's his name? Melly. I mean, not Melly. Relly and Rocky, their civil case is still going on. They're gonna go to mediation.
Oh God.
They're gonna go to mediation. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with that.
Really don't need to be there.
Not guilty now. Did you say really doesn't need to be there?
Needs to be there. Let his lawyer go for him, please.
Oh, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be Karen is literally fighting for her life. The crazy amount to spend, but we gotta be worth it in the end. I hope so. I think she's gonna write a book. I want her to write a book, and I want her to tell me how she really feel about Belle. Tell me. Every time I looked up there, I wanted to throw something at her. Tell me something like that.
And you know what would really piss Peggy them off? If she wrote a book like OJ did and was like, if I did do it this time.
Peggy would probably be, oh God. Thank you, Erin. She's charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol and leaving the scene of a motor vehicle collision causing death. It's just crazy to me because they can't prove any of this. Stephanie said she would do a tell-all book if that was her.
Release some texts, talk about Higgy and his little piggy, all of it.
Wait a minute, what Nancy Grace say? Tootsie Roll. Listen.
Tootsie Roll.
The minute this trial is over, I would listen to Karen's lives. I really would. I would listen to her live streams.
Make that money back.
All about the process. Talk to me like Karen has so much she can do after the trial is over if she gets not guilty. Talk to me about certain pieces of evidence. What were you guys thinking when it was happening? She said Higgy and his little piggy.
It is. You saw them texts. She was not satisfied. Had to go home and see it on the wall.
Tell me what really happened when you went to his house. Oh God. Listen, if she would, well, somebody told me, and I'm gonna have to go find it. They said Nancy Grace, she must think Karen is guilty.
She does.
She must think it. I've been watching her. Let me tell you,
She got a painful wipe.
if you are not watching Nancy Grace talk about this Diddy trial, you are missing out.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought she was retired.
I did too. She popped up on my I don't know what you call it on YouTube. She popped up on my page, on my phone. Yeah. And I watch her every day. I watch The Lawyer You Know every day. And I watch Nancy Grace. Nancy is her, yeah, what's crazy? Nancy, she'll be talking about something crazy, or she'll be talking to a guest, and it's just showing her. She will yell, "Bring them up, bring them to the front." Like,
that's how we be feeling when you be watching, you be yelling.
Not me getting my Nancy Grace on. She's like, "Bring them up, bring them to the front," and I just be sitting there eating it up. When I tell you, Nancy Grace, if y'all are not watching her,
Nancy is honestly, she is so funny. I used to have to watch her. I told y'all Jessica Dime mama was my English teacher.
No, I think I saw you say that.
She was my middle school English teacher, but she was, that whole like Casey Anthony case came out. She was obsessed. She was not teaching us English in that class. She talked about the case every day. So we was watching Nancy Grace every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Nancy was pissed when she got back on social media. That might be when I found her. Right?
I thought there was an old clip.
That might be when she came back. Baby, Nancy Grace was pissed. I may have seen it on TikTok and then went to YouTube. Maybe that's it. Baby, she was pissed. I didn't even know she was still doing anything.
I didn't either.
Y'all, Nancy. But you know, I can't tell she's getting a little older because her bob. Her bob is looking a little different.
What's wrong with her bob?
Huh?
What's wrong with her bob?
It's a little stringy.
Oh, that was
like she teased it out a little bit, a little see-through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she getting a little old.
Yes, she is, but she still got that fire though. Nancy still has that fire. She said, "I met Nancy when she was on Scott Peterson's neck back in the day. The bob has aged. Look, I showed y'all a picture of the bob. It's just a little, I think there you go. It's just got a little thinning on it. That's all. She got it teased up at the top. Hold up, let me tell you.
This what happened when you do all that combing.
She got it. Y'all see, my girl got it teased up at the top. That's all. The bob, baby, she still has the bob.
She look good though. Because I thought the video, I honestly thought the video was old.
She does look good. She does sound good. I think she's still, I don't know. I like how she doesn't back down. She did Yates. Okay then. Her bob not stringy, is it?
Not Robert.
We been having that same bob forever, but it's people like Nancy, Larry King. Like these are people you kind of I know I really like watching because of how they handle their guests, their shows, the fact that they're very well informed about what they're talking about. I love that. She looks like a villain. She talks like one too.
She does.
She talks like a baby. Nancy does not play.
I her when she was talking about how she got into like television and crime and like law and all of that because of her ex-husband or her fiance.
No, I gotta find it.
Like when I say she didn't blink as she told that story, she stared until they saw and told that story. But it's a good story though.
I'm gonna have to go find it now. It's on YouTube.
I think her husband or her fiance, I don't remember if they was married or not, got killed. And that's how she decided to go into law.
She said she talks like she could be a mob wife in another life. Yes.
She probably
I love I just love how strong she is. And when it comes to cases that she's passionate about, you can feel that passion through the TV. And I do believe that even with attorneys, you can really tell when attorneys' hearts are really in it. It comes through the things that they do, the arguments that they make. And when I'm watching Nancy, when she feels like something is wrong, you're going to feel it too.
Wendy would be having the time of her life during this Diddy trial.
Caitlin, Nancy is not about to come swipe my page up, okay?
Okay, I'm a switch for a second. Did you see that video of Stephon Diggs on their boat?
I said, people are really bold. They are. I said, now you can say what you want to say about Diddy. I don't know how many times I watched we were watching Making the Band last night, y'all, on Twitter. I mean, what we're watching on TikTok. And as we were watching, I kept saying, "Oh, I wonder who got the medicine bag. Is something gonna pop out?" No matter how much I wanted to, and no matter what you say about Diddy, unless you knew him personally, you never saw him do some foolishness like that. Baby Stephon gave them that pink powder like he was giving out candy, and those girls were so excited.
They were excited, and then it was like, sir, it's one thing if you retired, you're an active player. Active player.
I said, oh, people getting bold. But here's the thing. Somebody had a comment under the post, and they said, this is why you have to know who you're around, right? You have to know who you're around, because why would you have that record? And he like, here you go. Come back and see me. Like, what?
It was just casual.
Like, you have to act like you care. Oh, she's talking about Garland's. I didn't even see it yesterday. You have to act like you care. When it came to Stephon Diggs on that boat, what bothers me, and I can only speak for my community, so please, sorry, I can't talk for anyone else's community. When it comes to my community, Shay, she was there because she was there.
She was there in the corner.
There, and she's probably a part of the madness too. I'm sorry, because she knows good and well, and I hate to say it, she knows what that man is doing. She knows what that man is doing. And the fact that he's doing it with her on the boat, to me, signals that either she does it as well or she doesn't care.
Or both.
You know, that's what it's, child, somebody did me like this recently. And I was telling her, I said, I still don't know why you would do this. I was hanging out, and this person decided to show me, I don't even know what it was, so I can only speculate. But they made a joke like, do I have something on my nose? I told my baby, I said, child, I want to run right there. Because if you are playing with your nose, you should know me by now. I am not the one to joke about it with. I still don't know. What about me? I don't smoke. Barely do hookah, right? Y'all see, I've hung the hookah up for good now. I'm a drink, but baby, I got like a 2-drink max. What about me?
4 ounces.
What about y'all know how y'all call me green? What about my square ass? Told you should play that type of game with me. And now I'm just gonna always be wondering if that's what you have going on. If you go to the restroom, what? Saying all that to say, the fact that he was so open about it, I think everyone on that boat is aware of what he does, what he likes to do. So I don't think she's concerned about it. She should be, because it's her image as well.
She should be.
It's her image as well. And you know, I care about that, because, child, if people see us hanging out, I don't need people to think that's what I have going on. You have to be very careful about what you do when you're in the public, right? You know. Indian, please stop. I said total Glock. Okay?
No, but
A registered one. I should have said a registered one, okay? But yeah, I did see that video, Brianna. What was your thought when you first saw it?
honestly, when I first saw it, I was just like, I didn't even notice the bag at first. I was looking at the girls calling him daddy and stuff because he was like, "What's my name?" And I was like,
Wait, they called him. I didn't listen to it for real. They called him daddy.
It's like daddy. And somebody was like, "See, this is why I can never compete with y'all." And I said, "Exactly. I can never compete with y'all."
Daddy?
Yes. And I said, "Oh," and then I saw the bag. I said, "This is insane."
I was about to say, Victoria, I don't think we're making it someone else's fault, right? She said, y'all have to realize that people do casual drugs with people. It doesn't make it someone else's fault. No, I don't think that's what we're saying. What we're specifically talking about is just like her image. The comment that was made was that, oh, Cardi needs to run. And I said, well, listen, I'm pretty sure at this point they're dating. She knows what he does. The fact that he's on camera doing it in front of other people on that boat.
And she was
simply saying, you can almost imply that either she's okay with it or she does it too. I was just saying you can almost imply it. Not that she does do it. I don't know what she does. I'm just talking about how open he was. These young ladies were on this boat. I just think he makes too much money. And that's a problem for me. I have a problem with athletes in our community specifically messing up money over foolishness. Like you work too hard to get there.
Yeah. And the fact that she was like on the boat, I think makes me worse. Like if she wasn't there, people can be like, okay, well, maybe this is just something with the girls that he messes off with. But like she was there, and the way he casually brought it out, like it was some gum.
He did. Like somebody asked him, can they have a piece of extra? Oh, Victoria, I don't know. I may have missed it then. I'm sorry. I may have missed it. They said baby girl in the black snatched that bag right on up as soon as he pulled it out. I don't know if I watched the whole video because he quite frankly does not interest me at all in no way. So I just happened to see the headline and I said, what? Like what's going on there? I think that he's too questionable for me to even be trying to date. He's too questionable for me for me, any woman to be dating unless you're okay with that.
And crackhead allegations are hard to beat.
Yeah. I don't think Cardi cares. She's been around the BS for too long to be concerned about it. She should. It's her business.
Yeah.
This is why Diddy's situation is complex. These women engage and then cry wolf. I don't think we can compare that boat to the Diddy situation. I don't even know what the engage is. And I try not to have the Diddy discourse because it always goes left. But there's no way you have 20 people telling you he beat the shit out of this woman on a regular basis. Like, beat her blue.
Yeah.
Every other day.
She was beat bad. And I think these women, if the women on the boat left and went to a hotel with him, they did their little freak off. And then the next day, Stephon wanted to do a freak off and they said no, and he beat them, that would be the same situation. I think that's what Cassie was in. I don't think that you might want to be in one situation one day and the next you not.
Yeah, I don't know. The Diddy situation is so complex. I think for me, it's always interesting to hear people's point of view because I think we hear that a lot. She said, oh, he beat her and he's guilty. Don't lump it. Victoria, I don't know. I think you'll be talking in one sentence and then we have a conversation and then you come back with one sentence and I'll be like, what? That's it, friend. That's it. But it's not, and I'm not specifically talking about you. Even on my socials, I can speak for my socials just in general. The amount of comments that I get when you talk about just the whole Diddy situation, it's interesting to see how people look at it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of times that people casually be offering powder and candy. Stephanie, I'm clearly in the right places then.
Right.
No.
PWI, so them people wasn't. That's not really surprising to me.
Yeah.
But it's still funny to see.
I do get that. Like, I'm not like this artist. I'm not in that type of lifestyle. So the things that are happening, I just wouldn't be privy. I wouldn't be privy to it. Like, and I do get it happens. I told y'all about the time I went to the gay club and the man was asking, like, did I want to buy? I'm like, no, like, sir, get away from me. And then I think he thought I was playing. So he doubled back and he kept doing this. I asked my cousin, I said, is he okay? Baby, I ain't been back since. I said, listen, I don't belong in there where I'm trying to go out with my cousin, have a good time. Like, I'm just trying to have a good time. That's it.
I feel like, especially in Hollywood, because I have a family member who was like a writer and a director. So he wrote on Insecure. He went to the Oscars with Lena. He's wrote on like Grey's Anatomy. He's wrote on a ton of BT shows. He's worked with Issa Rae a lot. But he got on that stuff, and that is not like it.
Is he okay?
Yeah, I think he's sober now. So he's trying to get back to writing and stuff. But still, that whole like world, I feel like people think it's more popular than it really is.
Yeah. No, it is. I have a cousin who's in LA too, and you hear about the girls who do things like that. I think it's normal. So it's crazy for us because that's not our everyday life, right? So hold up. I see Victoria in the joint. Hold on. Hey, girl.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Why I sell mail? I came up here because I need to get these mods together up here on this thing. Hold on a minute. I'm the rich auntie. Y'all ain't finna mod me nowhere. Y'all already know I be fighting about y'all with my daughters now.
What y'all doing?
Come on now.
I told them, listen, I be telling them, Victoria, I said, listen, the mom, I'm like, me and my girl good. We talk like this all the time. We good. But I think you were talking in one sentence, and I think that's just what it was. Like, and I may have gone on, and then you be talking, and I don't get it. India said, get us together there, auntie.
I'm gonna get y'all together. Y'all already know my daughter. Say, you don't know them people. I say, yes, I do. Them my other daughters.
Victoria, can I say something though? I just want to say for everybody's family, and y'all can send them this clip. We do know each other because my sister said you be sitting on live with 200 people you don't know. Baby, I know them. We're family. We together all the time. It's almost like co-workers. We sit together 8 hours sometimes together. We do know each other, baby. Y'all say that to us.
Listen, we done cried together. Lord have mercy. We've been in this thing too long. No, what I was trying to say about with the boat situation, just don't lump him with that old dang on Diddy. Oh my God. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't lump.
But auntie, if because you seem like you might like Diggs.
He wrong. His two left shoes though. He wrong now.
Wrong for that, auntie.
I
just
you wrong, boy.
Mad about Stefan. Honestly, the issue I have with him is like you're too big of a celebrity to make such a foolish mistake. That's my problem. Like, I don't care for Stefan, right? I don't care for him like that. I'm not checking for him. But what I do care about is your legacy. The fact that what you represent. Your mama, baby, your mama probably took you to so many practices. She's lost count to get you where you are. And you be so damn foolish. I mean, he just popped it out like it was nothing.
Their problem is they have too much trust in the people that they are engaging with, the people that they're socializing with, and they don't understand cameras are everywhere. They trust the wrong people.
They
trust the wrong people.
I agree with that, and I feel like
just stuff when you young and got money. When you
old though,
exactly.
Oh, he about 30, ain't he? And I do know 30 is young, but he's been in this game too long to make such a dumb mistake.
He's been making so much money since he was young.
Yeah.
That what has formed, what he think is right, not right. Like what has formed in his mind is like, well, this is what my lifestyle is, not what it's supposed to be.
It can't be.
Can't do.
be.
Mm-mm. You got to have a level head. You can't do that.
It can't be that. And I hate to say this because I know he's a person, but you are held to a higher standard. And there's no way you can think that your front office, I don't give a damn if you are off the field. And I think they had OTAs. He wasn't even there, but you were on this boat giving pink powder. Like, you just have to be smarter.
Right.
I don't care what you do. People have to understand. Y'all just see. I hate to use Diddy because I don't want to compare the two. But did we see Diddy beating cats at the BET Awards? No, he had sense enough not to do that. He had sense enough not to do that. Stephon has to understand that he is always there are cameras everywhere. Cameras everywhere. You just got to be more mindful. You got to be mindful.
It was. Didn't I say like at Diddy parties you can even bring in phones and stuff like that?
I get it. I keep telling people this. When it comes to Diddy, I don't care what this man's sex life was. If he likes some kinky stuff, that's his business.
Right.
The problem that comes for him is when you're forcing people to engage in these things with you, the drugs, all of the other crazy stuff, right? That's it. It's not about someone say, oh, y'all were just mad because he's freaky. Oh, he can be that. That's his business. Again, why Brianna said no phones in areas. That's the thing you should do. The NDAs, all that stuff was smart on his behalf. But you just can't get in. You can't do the illegal stuff too. That's just not it.
He thought nobody would ever tell. He thought nobody would ever tell.
I think he thought he was big in the program.
He did.
God. He thought he was God.
I really do. That cheesecake episode, y'all shouldn't have made me watch that. The cheesecake episode.
But then, to me, what I saw from there, like rewatching it, you see how manipulative he is. Like,
oh my.
He was like, well, if you don't do it, then you can go home. And they was like, well, we're just going to go home. He was like, okay. And
no,
then
he has a whole show, Brianna. You let him know, then what?
That's what I'm like, they know. But he came back and was like, okay, now you let your ego get in the way of you. No, you let your ego get in the way of you. He could walk and get you don't lost your mind.
Yeah, he's so cunning. He was cunning.
Yeah.
Very seductive. Very seductive.
But I hate this like mentality. Especially, I feel like it's even more prominent today because we grew up watching stuff like Making a Band and Diddy and all of that. But this mentality of, well, you got to have somebody who's going to tell you what to do and like who's going to tell you what it is and what you got to do. Like, it's not going to be easy. No, it ain't going to be that hard. You're not going to make me just leave me and do, we're still get some cheesecake for you when you could have caught a cab. Now, again, I don't know. I guess it's TV. Why they ain't catch a cab? I don't know.
Still, because he wanted them to walk.
He
wanted them to walk because they had several cabs. That was in front of the damn building.
That was a part of it, the evilness of him.
He wanted them to walk.
And if you have a private car, you could have just said one person go get it. You got a private car. You got all these assistants. Funds worth. Who knows what he was doing?
Exactly.
Twiddling his
stomach. You wanted me to go walk? Are you crazy? I'm the artist. I'm making you money.
Mel, a lot of people say this. She said the cheesecake episode was what made me start knowing he was evil. When I tell you Diddy has been unable to live that cheesecake episode.
He's evil. He's evil.
He is. He is. He had the FU money. Yep, I do agree with this, and thought he could get away with everything. Hey, Mama Jackie, court's over. Court is already over. They ended early today. We were supposed to go until 1:30, but she ended up letting them go. What y'all bet? Maybe about 11:30, 11:45, something like that.
Belle need her butt kicked too. I don't know how they can do it, but there's somebody need to file some complaints on that lady.
I don't know what's gonna happen with Bev. I think Bev's gonna ride this case on out, and she's gonna keep living her life. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to her.
It's like they got it Canton locked down. They got it locked down.
Bring Brian to Karen because the amount of we would have been had 50 recusal requests, 50 mistrial requests. Game with Brian.
Hey,
I'm gonna jump back down, y'all. I just came up here. To show my face.
It's nice to meet you.
YSL.
My Victoria.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this one last thing. They tell my mama, what you looking at? Because they be trying to call me. They used to be trying to call me on the group chat, FaceTime. I said, y'all bother me. I'm in law school. Don't bother. Leave me alone now. We trying to get these. Listen, we trying to get these boys home. They tell me, you don't even know them people. I say, yes, we do. We gotta get every last
That was
one
a
of them.
lot, baby. Let me tell you, that case was
Listen.
a lot. That was a lot.
Remind me of my son. Shoot.
Like that case, it really got people so emotionally invested once we started seeing what was going on. It's like Karen, because there's no way I want to chunk my tea this morning.
Come on. Listen.
These cases, once you start seeing what's happening,
right, you get invested. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump down. I'm in the chat.
All right, bye. Mama Jackie said, I missed you. I missed y'all this morning. She was training new staff, period. But Mama Jackie, it was crazy. The very beginning of court was very crazy.
Save your day. Continue to have a good day. Don't go back and rewatch it.
Please, you'll be good. Wait a minute, somebody put in the chat that Victoria sound like an auntie for real. Baby, it made me miss my auntie.
She did, because I was supposed to say Miss Victoria.
Miss Victoria said she had something to say. I know that's right.
Get them all together. Get them together.
But yeah, I do. But I will say too, baby, these mods don't play up here. My little sister say it all the time. Both of my sisters, they say it all the time. My sister said all the time. She said, "Baby, them mods you got over there." I said, "Oh yeah, they don't play. Hell, they don't play with me. They don't play with me. They get me together all the time." The mods do not. When they say the mods be on it, I will say this, that they just won't. I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm okay. We good." Me and Victoria talk all the time in the chat, all the time. So I think too, like I said, she's typing, and me and Brianna might have been talking about something, and then when I look up again, I'm seeing another comment. It's just
I think it was just broken up. Yeah,
baby, that's my buddy. We talk all the time in here.
The mods just Julius to your Beyonce, you know. That's it.
Let me tell you, these mods, and let me tell y'all, they double as PIs too. They find some stuff out, baby. Don't play with these mods. Don't play with the mods. But I'm so thankful for the mods because they gonna keep this chat together, and I love that. But I'm thankful for everybody being out here, though. We have a good time over here.
Okay.
Y'all, Eric, because I know y'all were gonna take my friend away. Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank y'all, because I love that we over here and we've been together so long. It's like Miss Victoria said, we family.
Right.
We family over here. Hey, Barge. We are family over here. But y'all, I'm about to get off because I thought we were in that one anyway. Because I have some errands to run to prepare for in the morning. But, oh, bye, Brianna. Dang. She didn't even say bye. Then Brianna. Brianna, you from Memphis. I know you got better manners than that. Y'all, she didn't even say bye. Did the mods pass Diddy's test? Bye, Mama Jackie. Y'all just hop off like that, the wave to me. I said bye, y'all. Oh, the Lord, live anyway, so let me go. She said hung up quicker than you did, Lil Wayne. Bye, y'all. I'm about to go listen to the Lord, while I get ready, so y'all can meet me over there. And I'll probably be on TikTok live later, but I got some stuff to take care of. But thank you guys. Thanks for all the super chats. Thank you for the amazing conversations today. Thank you. Thank you, Alice, girl. Thank you, girl. I got to go get myself together. Mel, Tis. India, why the hell are you so messy? India said Mel's test was all the days that we went with the messed up Wi-Fi. Okay, Ronnie, I will. I'll see y'all together. See y'all later. Bye, y'all.